Here we go now.
Very special. Ever since watching the episode, that damn song is stuck in my head. It's definitely a bop. It's definitely a bop. Welcome back to the Kempire channel. And let me know if you guys can hear me, see me, all that good stuff. And also let me know where you are watching from. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes. So much happened over the weekend. First of all, congratulations to the Brooke Ashley on her sold out show at the Green Room 42. Shout out to the boys, Alexander Rogers and C. Diggy One for their show that's coming up on August 1st. And then, of course, you know, my show is happening on September 25th at the Green Room 42. Tickets are now available. Live stream tickets are available as well. Meet and greet tickets are available. All that good stuff. Shout out to everyone that I saw at the live show on Friday. And then yesterday, Spain won the World Cup. I was so happy that they won. I was really, really happy that they won. No offense to Argentina, but look, they played very well during the World Cup, but I was really happy that Spain won. If anyone was going to win, I was very happy for Spain to win. So congratulations to Spain. Football. This has been like a hell of a summer when it comes to sports, especially here in New York City. So, you know, I'm wearing my Knicks shirt. I was going to wear a jersey, but I was like, I don't have a Spain jersey. And then I do have my Argentina jersey, but we're not going to do that today. We're not. I still have my Argentina jersey. I wore it that one time on live. One time. But I was like, I don't feel like wearing that. It's funny, you know, I don't know if anyone's superstitious. I was wearing my Brazil jersey during the game, and you saw how that game went yesterday. It took forever for them to get a goal. So I was getting ready, and I was going to go for my group meditation, but the game was still going on, and then it went into extra time. And I was just like, I don't know. Then I took my Brazil jersey off and put on my Dolly Parton shirt, and that's when they scored a goal. I know for those of you that watch soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, are probably superstitious too. I was about to put it back on the Brazil jersey because I was like, I'm going to stay and watch the rest of this game. But then I was like, wait, as I was putting the Brazil jersey back on, I said, but wait a minute. So I took it back off and I put back on my Dolly Parton shirt and I said, and Spain won. Spain won. Congratulations to Spain. Despite Donald Trump being there. What'd you guys think of the halftime show? I thought the halftime show was lackluster. They might want to get Rock Nation to produce it in 4 years. Speaking of Rock Nation, I saw Jay-Z was there, Beyonce was there, A$AP Rocky was there, Will Ferrell was there, Rihanna was there. There were lots of people. Pharrell was there. If you follow me on Patreon, I told you my Pharrell story from the other day. Go follow me on Patreon. All right. Go follow me on Patreon. But yeah, there were a lot of people in the house. I was watching it. Who were you guys rooting for? Okay. Who were you guys rooting for? I mean, I feel like for the most part, a lot of people were rooting for Spain. I felt like the entire world were rooting for Spain. I do know a few people that are big fans of Argentina, but I feel like you learn so much, even if you don't follow the sports, you don't follow the politics behind some of the sports and the stories behind some of the people. you see so many stories come out during these types of events. The same way I saw a lot of stories come out during the Knicks when they were in the middle of the NBA Finals, and then of course the championship. You saw a lot of people's personal stories come out, and I saw a lot of that happening during the World Cup. So you learn a lot. You learn a lot, especially if you're not a huge fan of the sport. But you know what? Last night's game or yesterday evening's game was really interesting, but Saturday's game between France and England was actually more interesting. I don't know about anyone else. Shout out to England. I was rooting for my Jude Bellingham. Shout out to Osaka. All kind, and look, and shout out to Mbappe as well too, because he set a new record and beat Messi in the World Cup in regards to the most goals. Messi didn't get any goals yesterday, but he had a good run during the World Cup. He was on that field forever crying. I was like, sir, get up. You're a millionaires, almost billionaires. Get up. Okay. Wipe your tears with your cash. Okay. Anyway, but I found the France versus England game so much more exciting. Wasn't that like the most goals in a World Cup? Because it was like 6-4, the game. And it was like 4-0 for the longest. They played their butts off, both teams. So congratulations to France, England, and Spain. Okay? So congratulations to them. We're talking the sports, okay? Okay, talking the sports. Mars says he's a Cancer. There's so many water signs that play soccer. I follow this account. Was it Pop Astrologist on Instagram? And she posts a lot of the soccer players' birth charts. A lot of water signs are in soccer, so I need to stay away. You know, I was like, I might get me a footballer as my billionaire or millionaire husband. I might need to stay away. There's a lot of water signs. Like Holland, he has a lot of Cancer in his chart. I'm good. I'm not that I was interested. Just, but that money and his Birkin bag collection, just might have to reconsider. Whatever. All right. Anyway, yes, welcome to KSPN. For those that are just joining us, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just wanted to talk about, there were things that happened over the weekend, all right? There were things that happened over the weekend. So congratulations to all of the football players, all the dreams that were made or dashed. I mean, you made it to the World Cup, okay? You came in second place, Argentina. You won it the last World Cup. It was a great time. And now, next month, it's the U.S. Open. And whether or not Serena will be playing, we shall see. All right? Yes, Amara says the 19-year-old from how do you pronounce his name? Yamil? How do you pronounce his name? The 19-year-old from Spain is a Cancer too. And you saw the lore between Messi and him. When he was just a baby, Messi, they did this whole little campaign, and Messi was bathing him as a baby. That's not AI. That's a real moment. That's kind of crazy. 19 years later, Lamine Yamal. Thank you so much, Carmi, was watching on Twitch. Bergie says, loved Jennifer Hudson and her hollering. Oh, I added the last part, the hollering part. Jennifer Hudson saying at the opening of the World Cup finals yesterday. Look, Paula says, don't cry for me. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Speaking of which, did you guys see the halftime show with Madonna? Honestly, the video that they did was epic. Shout out to whatever digital retouching that they did, because she looked amazing. But when she came out in the real moment, I was like, oh, very different. But Madonna is a legend. Just going to say that. Madonna is a legend. Justin Bieber looked really healthy. Because remember, there was a moment just like a year or two ago, he wasn't looking very healthy. I didn't love the song that he performed, because it's a halftime show. It was just sort of a little too melancholy for a halftime show. Shakira was probably the best part, because they've been playing that damn song this entire World Cup. So Shakira and Burna Boy, a great performance. That was probably the best part of that. It was nice. It was okay. It was all right. I was waiting for Beyonce to come down from the seats to perform something. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's me. We've been spoiled with Beyonce performances. All right, enough about the World Cup. The World Cup is over. But I will be wearing my Knicks jerseys and my World Cup team jerseys for the rest of the summer. Come the fall, then I'll take them off. Okay? Fine. Sharkaz says that he brought the energy down. Oh, BTS were there. Okay, Ashley says BTS were the best for me. They were good. But I'll tell you this, if I saw BTS walking down the street, I would never known that was them. Just saying, I would have never known that was them. I'm not a big BTS fan, though. You guys probably would know it was them. I know the song, though. I was like, oh, I know the song. I know this little ditty. But that was about it. And Nadia says, I'm sorry, but the show was bad. The halftime show? All right. Guys, if you had to rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? After watching it with our Patreon folks last night, I said to myself, this was a little lackluster. And I rewatched the episode twice today. I know. You're probably like, what? That's why I was a little late, because I was watching it a third time, just kind of taking it in. Because the first time I watched it this morning, I was watching it and then rewinding and taking notes and things like that. But, April said I was expecting you to be in a Spain jersey. I don't have a Spain jersey. I already spent a lot of money on jerseys this summer. I'm not spending another dime. The next jersey I get is going to be Jude Bellingham's jersey. Okay. And I know he didn't win, but fine. Hey, Omar. Omar was a part of our watch party last night. Who was a part of our watch party last night on Patreon? You missed it. Okay? But join our Patreon so you don't miss anything more. There's a lot of great content already available on our Patreon. Okay? Patreon.com/the kempire. All right? And if you're a member of the channel, I've posted some discounts for you on the post tab. So if you missed it, that's your opportunity to go check it out. All right? All right. I'm seeing 5, 7s. Again, after watching it last night and then watching it multiple times today, it wasn't their best episode. And I think it wasn't their best episode was because of the shoddy editing. The editing of this episode was terrible, especially when you rewatch it, because you're like, wait a second, something's missing. Something's not making sense. And you remember there were multiple reports that there was an almost physical altercation between Porsha and Shamea. I heard from very reliable sources that there was almost a physical fight. But it was apparently edited out. And I know you're thinking, why would they edit it out? I don't know. I don't know why they would edit it out. But it was very clear things were edited out. Because last night when we were on Patreon, I said, let me rewatch this mid-season trailer. And I rewatched the mid-season trailer. And the whole reason we went to Scotland was because Phaedra and Porsha were on Traitors. And we were supposed to get this Traitors moment. And we never got this Traitors moment. What happened to this Traitors moment? They were all in hoods as traitors. So what happened to this Traitors moment? So after rewatching the mid-season trailer again, I'm like, wait a minute, something's not making sense. Because this outfit that Phaedra wore, we never got to see. She looked so much better in this outfit and with her hair up like this. Because the other wigs that she was given when she went to the cemetery, when she was at the dinner table, it just aged her so terribly. But she actually looks really, really good here in this blue fur that she's wearing and blue plaid that she's wearing. She looks great here. And I'm thinking that was probably a completely separate scene. It was probably the traitor scene. However, no. Because when you look at another still that I got from the episode, you see what Phaedra's wearing here. She's wearing that same outfit that I mentioned before that we didn't get to see, the plaid, the blue plaid with the fur and her blonde hair up. But you see the other women, this is the birthday dinner. The birthday dinner where everyone's wearing the same outfit. And what stands out the most here, you see what Porsha is wearing. Porsha looked amazing. She looked amazing. She's also wearing latex. You don't see any blotchy spots of grease on her latex outfit. Just saying, I'm not a Porsha stan, but okay. So something's not adding up. Something's not adding up when it comes to this. And I'm wondering, is it because they edited out the fight? When did the fight happen? I'm thinking the fight happened at the club because that was the word on the street, was the fight that had happened at the club, and that Drew allegedly was the one to break it up. So I don't know. I don't know what may have happened, but it's not making sense to me. And for me, just seeing the mid-season trailer, and we see this all the time. It's happened all the time. Truly Original. I don't feel like we see that with a lot of the other production companies, though, Truly Original. It's always with your production company where it feels like we get something in a scene and then we don't. No, that's not true because I've seen it in other production companies, other cities too. But I see a lot when it comes to Potomac and Atlanta. Y'all need to fix that. Because, like, why? Mr. Mellon Magic says, did they reshoot? They didn't reshoot anything. I think they just cut. They just cut a lot out. And that's probably part of the reason why this episode for me definitely wasn't as good as last week's episode. This episode was a little bit lackluster for me. If I had to rate this episode, I'd probably give it like a 6, which is not bad, but it's not great either. All right? Okay. Oh, damn. Miss C says, that's the ish that Kingdom Reign does. Carlos show one thing in the trailer, show nothing in the episode. Well, maybe that's where they learned it from. Makai gave it a 5.5. All right. Coco says the hot tub, the spa moment. We're going to talk about that. Let me actually open up my notes. Guys, you're just joining us. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on the episode and the shoddy editing. Did it stand out to you as well? It definitely stood out to me. And that's why I had to go back last night and watch it. And then this morning I watched it again to get some screen grabs just to kind of like, guys, I'm not going crazy. We did get this in the mid-season trailer, but it was never shown. And now this trip is over. This is how they ended this episode this week is how they ended it. Paulette says they're all traitors. J. Poo says Carla was an executive producer back in the day. That's where they learned it from, right? Elise says, not Carlos catching a stray. Always, right? Always. Our community. All right, guys, keep liking the video. It's easy, free way of supporting our channel. Let's move on. Let's just start from the top. So you know how last week's episode ended with Shamea and Porsha's all-out fight. But the night wasn't over because the women go back to the estate to get changed and go to the club. What I didn't notice until the next day was that Kelly and Shamea were at a completely different place. I'm thinking that they were somewhere else in the estate. No. If you saw what happens in the next day, in day 3 of Scotland, Shamea and Kelly are coming back to the estate in the morning. So clearly, production separated Shamea and Porsha. And I know what you're probably thinking. They probably separated them because of the argument that they had. They have arguments all the time. They're not sharing a room. I'm thinking the fight happened at the club, like I said, and that's why they were separated. They're never going to confirm it because it wasn't included in the edit. But that's what I'm thinking what happened. This is all speculation. I'm not saying that that's fact. But the signs are saying to me, oh, wait, you guys ended up sleeping somewhere else? Look, Amanda says, oh, wow, didn't notice that. This is why I'm here. This is why I was late. I had to watch the episode 300 times. Okay, Jocelyn says, wow. Yes, they were separated. Okay, Shark has, they were separated because of the fight. The argument or the physical fight that allegedly happened. Usually they only separate you is if there's a physical fight. Arguments happen, yes, and this argument went dark and it was pretty bad. However, they could be in other rooms. It's a huge estate. They ended somewhere. They ended up somewhere else. Lawrence says, clock it, Kempire. All right. April says, nope, it's a fact, Kempire. What's a fact? That they physically fought? Well, we didn't see it, so we can't say that it was a fact. Okay. Oh, hey, Winter, I saw you at the club on Friday. Winter was like, it's Winter. I was like, hey, Winter. All right. So the signs are telling me that. So anyway, so Shamea and Kelly go back. I'm thinking that they went back to the estate. No, they went back to somewhere else, apparently. So Kelly says that Shamea has kept so many things bottled up about her friendship with Porsha. Shamea says that she's careful about everyone's feelings, even if it hurts herself, and she gets emotional talking about it. I think she crashed out. Because based on what everyone has been saying about how this all happened, it wasn't something that was edited out. Even though we're calling out the editing this week, they're saying that no, Shamea came out of nowhere and brought up the whole Pilar situation. But it seems like she was on ready because we see later on Pinky reveal at the airport when asking her like, how are you feeling? Shamea was like, it's whatever they're going to bring. It's whatever. Like she was ready at the airport. So I don't know what else could have been happening leading up to this. And I can't recall what may have been happening on social media at the time. I don't think anything was happening on social media at the time of filming. So Shamea says that, she's always careful of everyone's feeling, even if it hurts herself. This is why people keep saying that you play victim. And I haven't really jumped on the bandwagon saying that you play victim, but I've seen it a lot this season where you're really making yourself to be like, I'm everyone's best friend. I'm always putting myself, behind everyone else's feelings and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that she hasn't, because I definitely think that she has. And this is why she crashes out in Scotland. But she says that she's always careful of everyone's feelings, even if it hurts herself. Shamea says that she did have hope that her and Porsha would find their way back to each other. However, she says that Porsha will never meet a friend like her. I'm cool on her. I will agree with that. I'm not going to say that Shamea hasn't been a good friend to Porsha. And I'm not going to say that Shamea actually has probably been a better friend to Porsha than Porsha has been a friend to Shamea. I'm not going to say that. I've also said to you, I believe that Porsha did say to Shamea that this is my thing. You have acting, you have singing, you have the Hawks, you have everything. Let this be my thing. And this whole quote, destiny swapping that Porsha mentioned, I feel like that's somewhat projection. I believe that they both project destiny swapping, because on some level, I believe you want what she has in regards to being married with money and the house and things like that. You guys have been destiny swapping with each other. And I think on one side, and this is why you should never be friends with someone that might be secretly jealous of you. You should never be friends with someone that is secretly jealous of you. It's very dangerous. And I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my gut. It's dangerous. And I'm not just talking about how it played out between these two women in regards to arguing and things like that. No. I'm saying it could be your life. I'm not going to bring up examples, but you know that there are examples of this in friend groups. You probably have an example of this in your friend group. It is dangerous. If there is someone in your life that you sense might be jealous of you or wants your life, and you know it, you sense it, you hear it in the things that they say, you see it in the way that they look, or you hear it from other friends. Be very mindful of that. You should distance yourself from friends like that. But the thing is, between Porsha and Shamea, I feel like on both sides, there's some level of that. I believe that there's some level of that. OMG, Steph, I heard the news about Angie K. This is about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't think anyone even cares about Angie K separating. But thank you. I'm not gonna. That's not breaking news over here. We're talking about bigger news. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. Okay. Mr. Melman says, Kim, do you have personal experience with this? Not necessarily, thankfully, but I told y'all a story about my high school friend. We went to the whole modeling thing together, and they ended up wanting me to be a part of it, and he came the next day saying, this is supposed to be my thing. Just saying, you got to be very careful, okay? All right. Oh, Miss Parker says, I had a friend like that. Notice I said had. I'm all set. You got to be very careful of people like that. Jamie says, well, dang, Kempire. What? About the Angie K of it all? Sorry. I'm just saying, I appreciate you guys letting me know, but that's not really breaking news over here. Just saying. We'll talk about it during, Tuesday Takeover, baby. Okay? Baby. Or when the season starts. I have a lot of tea when it comes to the Salt Lake City, but I'm going to save it for my September 25th live show happening here in New York City. Go get your tickets today. Hit the QR code, okay? Hit the QR code. Hold on. What did Omar say? I lost your comment. Omar says, you know what? Last night was the first time I've ever heard P. Willie saying Shahoa's children's name. Hell, I didn't even know she knew their names. Well, damn. Look, damn. Wow. Look, wow. All right, guys, we have 1,600 people watching on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitch. We appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to those of you watching on X as well. We see you. Damn, Talia says, I forgot who Angie K is. See OMG Steph? See? They don't remember which one is Angie K. Okay? All right. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get back to this. So Shamea and Kelly are having this conversation, and Kelly is trying to convince Shamea, let's go out, let's get it together. Okay. Winter says, I'm coming to your show, Camp. You better, Winter. I better see you too, Winter. Because we've never met. And you've been to a show before. We've been in the same room multiple times. You were at the Crappy Awards that Brooke was talking about on Friday. And we didn't meet. I better meet you. Okay? All right. Or just ask a question and then we'll meet. All right. All right. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to get me some new water. I don't like how that tastes. That's what he said. More jokes like that and more during Kempire After Dark, September 25th. Okay. All right. So back to this. Kelly McDowell said, let's go to the club. So she convinces Shamea, like, let's go. I didn't come to Scotland to be, being, upset and mad. Okay. She's got a lot going on. So they get themselves together. The other women are getting themselves together and they end up going to the club, all right, in Scotland. First of all, I got to go to Scotland. And when I go to Scotland, I got to go to this club. You saw all the black people in this club? I was like, oh, shit. Look, I know there are black people all throughout Europe. I've been to Europe many, many times. I've never been to Scotland, though. And I didn't know they got the black club over there in Scotland. So I'm going to definitely get over there, all right? Tears of Joy says, dang, Kev, it's only noon. Okay. So Pinky says that she is tired. I'm sure you guys agree with Pinky. She is tired of this Porsha and Shamea debacle. Pinky had me laughing, but Pinky, if you don't get out of our faces with this confessional look, I am calling PETA on you. Mind you, she just had a PETA endorsement this past week as well. This peacock blue feather, who is telling you people that this looks good? Like, who's telling you that this looks good? This does not look good. Take this off. This looks crazy. I mean, her face looks beautiful, though. Like, the blue eyeshadow, I actually really like this. I like her makeup here, okay? But this is like you attacked a peacock, and the peacock won. I don't know how the peacock won, but damn. Okay? Danielle says, my mom and I are coming, Kempire. I got her addicted to your show when she comes for the weekends. Now she all up on you. I love it, Danielle. I can't wait to see you guys on September 25th. I love that you guys introduce people to the show. That's how you spread the word. That's how we grow an actual community, and not just numbers, but an actual community. So thank you to everyone that tells me that you put people on, like your friends, your coworkers, your family. We even did a couple of videos while I was at Brooke's show for family folks that weren't there. Okay. Talia says that Pinky's fashion is atrocious. I know we talk a lot about what's her name? Damn, Kelly. But ooh, child, Pinky and this. I mean, there were a lot of ugly looks. I'm sorry. Damn, not ugly. There were a lot of terrible looks, fashions in Scotland. The only one that was really bringing it for me was P. Willie. The only one. All right. Drusilla says hides her pregnancy. But she wouldn't be showing at this particular point. Remember, the confessionals are filmed after the season, but it wouldn't. We've seen her since then. You know what I mean? I don't know. She was giving Cookie. It was giving like Cookie Monster was attacked by Big Bird. That outfit. Okay. Excommunicado says that Pinky confessional looks ridiculous. It looks like Kenya's blue peacock dress from the reunion. But Kenya's dress was actually pretty. My goodness. The only thing I didn't like about Kenya's dress was the fact that her breast seemed like it was too tight in that dress. Not me remembering all the things. Okay? Sharkhead says ugly was the right word. Okay, Savoring Life's Journey says looking forward to meeting you in September, Kim. Hey. Look forward to meeting you as well. Shout out to everyone that I met on Friday as well. Shout out to you guys. It was really great meeting the community that also watches Brooke's content, also watches my content as well. So that's always really, really great meeting you all in the wild. You know, I don't go outside like that, especially at night. Oh, you think I'm turning into a wolf, right? All right. Let me move on. Let's move on. Before we move on, today is brought to you by our friends over at MyFitnessPal. Another quick MyFitnessPal moment. Logging your food is one thing, but here's something I didn't expect. After a while, MyFitnessPal Premium actually starts showing you patterns. Not just today, not just one meal, but it's actually showing you patterns of your eating habits. And that's where it got real for me, because it started showing me things that I didn't even realize. How my weekends completely fell apart versus my weekdays. Or on days when I actually hit my protein goals, that I actually felt really, really good versus other days where I didn't hit my protein goals. I wasn't guessing anymore. I could actually see it in the MyFitnessPal app. And once you can see a pattern, that's when you can actually change it. And that's the difference of tracking versus understanding what you're tracking. Because as I keep reminding you, your nutrition is the foundation everything runs on. Your energy, your sleep, your recovery, and the insights are what connects the dots. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use code kempire, all uppercase, for 15% off MyFitnessPal Premium. Thanks, MyFitnessPal. Y'all are going in on the fashions. I also do not like Jeru's new confessional look, where it looks like she's the librarian. I don't know what she was thinking on that day, but we all have our days where we just want to throw something on, but we're not being watched by millions of people. Okay, well, y'all not. Look, we are. Okay, numbers. Okay. All right. Like 4 million people watch the channel a month. Okay, just saying. So, but we all have our days, especially on a Monday. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't feel like shaving my head. Oh, I don't. What am I gonna put on? You know what I mean? Oh, I don't feel good, but I got to throw something on and perk up for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. But here I am. All right. I don't have a team. I don't have her team, doing my makeup and hiding any flaws and whatnot. I don't like that look at all. Anyway, moving on. So the ladies go to the club, all right? Pinky says that she is tired of Porsha and Shamea and the Shamea debacle. We all are at this particular point. K. Michelle gets to the DJ booth and she dedicates VSOP, her debut single. It really wasn't her debut single, but it was like the debut single from her debut album. She already had like a bunch of singles and mixtapes before then. Look, I'm a fan. Okay, Michelle. I know you unfollowed me on TikTok, not TikTok, on Instagram and on X. This is why I kind of look at her being not such a great friend necessarily to Shamea or falling out with Shamea. We'll talk about it. I'm sort of like, you always fall out with everybody. If we're going to talk about patterns, you fall out with everybody. Just saying. I can't say the same with Shamea. You fall out with everybody, K. Michelle. So I already know next season, if you decide to come back, she'll be back. And the Bravo wants her back, and she wants to be back. Please understand, this is not Love and Hip Hop, okay? She wants this platform, okay? So K. Michelle gets to the DJ booth, and she dedicates VSOP to Phaedra. She says, Phaedra's an amazing person, an amazing friend. Right now, because remember, she came into the season already feeling like she's not going to like Phaedra. Now, all of a sudden, she loves Phaedra. Phaedra's her bestie westie. Okay. All right, so she dedicates the song, and she starts hollering it into the mic. Ordinary love. I like that song, though. I really like that song. But then she has the DJ play Drew's song, Delulu, which, first of all, I've loved Drew's debut project and that song Delulu, and even hearing it on the show. Shout out to Bravo for paying for the music rights so that we could hear VSOP and Delulu and Shamea's song too. Were they gonna play Porsha's song Flatline? I'm glad. That's the real reason why Porsha ran. That's the real reason why Porsha ran. It wasn't because Shamea arrived. She ran because she go, damn, she gonna play my song? Now she gonna play Flatline. She's going to play Flatline. I listened to Flatline randomly yesterday because I was posting up everyone to come join the Patreon. So I used Flatline as the song on my Instagram. And I said, this song is terrible. I remember when she was like everywhere promoting this song. She came to New York. She was at the gay club promoting this song. I was like, Porsha left the club. She's like, I got to go. She going to play Flatline. Flatline. I don't remember how it goes. Okay. All right, so Porsha hightails it out of there when she's looking to play Flatline, but no. Before we even get to that, so K. Michelle plays Delulu in a very beautiful moment, because you may have forgotten that there were these issues created by K. Michelle in her own head between her and Drew. So she plays delusional, and that's when Shamea arrives. Okay, Shamea arrives, and she's like, Shamea and her twerking and screaming and hollering. But this is where you should be twerking and screaming and hollering, at the club. Okay, so she's coming in, and everyone's like, no, she didn't arrive. Like, she just came here. Okay, so then the way it's edited, it shows Porsha leaving. She's like, no, she's not arriving and coming into the club after her being so disrespectful to me. So she ends up going to another part of the club to wait on car service. And Drew goes over there to look for her, like, we're looking for you. And K. Michelle is like, where's Porsha? We're gonna play Flatline. That's why she ran. That's why she ran. Okay, I would have ran too. Okay. Just saying. So Porsha goes over to another part of the club because she's leaving now that Shamea's there. I feel like the fight that they had, because I remember hearing that the fight happened allegedly, the almost physical fight. Not to say that they made contact. The almost physical fight happened at the club. Okay? And shout out to those of you that were at the club. Y'all could confirm this tea. Scotland, I know there are a few black folk that follow me. Not even just the black folk, but a few people in Scotland that follow the channel and that were at the club. Can y'all confirm? Please send me a DM on Instagram, the Kempire. Okay. Latasha says she twerks in business meetings and prays in the club. According to K. Michelle. I did a video over the weekend, guys. If you missed it, mods, if we could post a link to the video I did over the weekend where K. Michelle's toxic tweets continued over the weekend. Well, K. Michelle's not done when it comes to Shamea, but that is hilarious to me. Where is this tweet? Come on, Latasha. Shout out to Latasha for being a member. Latasha, you just smiling up in this picture, glowing. Latasha says she twerks in business meetings and prays in the club. Come on. Yes, come on. She is twerking in business meetings and she's praying in the club with her mama. She does everything backwards, right? She does everything backwards. So Shamea shows up and Porsha makes her way out of the club. Porsha says that the growth, look, this is Porsha in her confession. She says the growth that she's had and how the God is in her. She says how the God has risen in her. I'm like, okay, Porsha. She says she has to leave. So she says that's the reason why she decides to leave the club. I'm speculating. I'm not saying that this is fact. I'm speculating something almost happened between her and Shamea, and that was the reason why she decided to leave. And that's the reason why Shamea ends up not staying at the estate. Okay? But anyway, I don't know that for fact. I don't know the timeline, but the editing is giving like something happened. You guys edited it out. And maybe you edited it out because Bravo asked you to edit it out. I don't know. Maybe Shamea or someone else, or maybe Porsha asked you to edit it out because Porsha doesn't want to be known as always fighting on this damn show. I don't know. Maybe. All right. So Porsha says the God in her has risen. All right. Angela and Drew. So if the way that they edit, they make it seem as soon as Shamea comes that everyone leaves. But that's not true. Angela was on social media last night. Cynthia was on social media last night. Cynthia even said in the episode, she said, I didn't leave. I stayed for when she played your song. She greeted her and she played the song. And Cynthia said that she stayed for the song. She even said it in the comment section, I stayed for your song. So Shamea, making herself to be the victim again, claims that everybody left. Everybody left when it was my turn, when it was my song. Okay? But that's not true. They didn't leave, according to Angela. And so if Angela didn't leave, I do believe Drew left, but Drew didn't leave. Drew went to go check on Porsha because Porsha went to the other side of the club. Okay? So, but Angela posted video, I believe, of her saying, like, now it's there. I was there during your song. So, I don't know, Shamea. Not you lying, getting caught in a lie again. But okay. So, Angela and Drew are outside, and they're talking about Shamea just showing up like nothing happened. You're talking about people's mothers. You can't do stuff like that. You're talking about people's moms. Okay. But they don't see it for Shamea. I'm going to keep that in mind as well. Okay. So Shamea says that everyone scattered and left during her song, which is not true. Everyone did not scatter for the most part. The only person that left really was Drew and Porsha. Okay. And I don't blame Porsha for leaving. But at the same time, when I saw the edit and Porsha leaving as soon as Shamea came in, I get it that Porsha doesn't want to fool with Shamea, but you're also on a show. So I don't like it when I see housewives leave a scene. But maybe Porsha has grown, meaning that you talked about my mama. And look, let's put it in real life circumstances. Someone just talked about your mama. In the hood, anytime you talk about someone's mama, it's people are ready to fight. Like some people will do stuff to you just for mentioning their mama. So I'm gonna give Porsha some leeway here in regards to, okay, you talked about my mama in the worst way. So I'm actually going to be grown here because I've learned from anger management that I need to separate myself from you because right now I want to beat you up. I'm assuming. Exactly. Mr. Melanin says that Kemp, I think she left because she wanted to fight. Yeah, she probably did. It just happened. Danielle says it's Portia's full of crap. All right. Demi, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Demi says, had a cancer friend like that. Ooh. Had a fallout and couldn't understand why until someone said that she was jealous. Then boom, saw people differently after that. I'm just going to say this. Demi, we see each other. We see each other. This is why I said, y'all wonder why I don't fool with cancers? It's because of, sorry, cancers. I have a cancer rising. Maybe the reason why y'all love to be around me is because of my cancer rising, but I ain't made the way that y'all are made. All right, I'm actually a loyal friend. But I have to say, Demi, we see each other. It was a cancer. It was a couple of cancers, honestly. Just saying. I agree with you. Jealous. That is the perfect word to describe it. And y'all wonder why I don't fool with cancers like that. Jealousy. Okay? All right. Guys, we're almost at 500 likes. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. You can also hear our Real Housewives of Atlanta recaps on the Kempire podcast. Have you subscribed? And I probably will be going, I will be going live on our Patreon this evening to talk more about Real Housewives of Atlanta and whatever might be on the streets. Like OMG Steph said that Angie K and her husband have separated. So he can live his best life? I don't know. Okay? RC says some cancers are whack, but not all. I didn't say all, but there's something in those cancers. Okay. And Portia's a cancer. Hey, Kiana. Kiana says cancers are something else, child. I know the cancer's going to be like, oh, come on now. Dear Yvette says, yes, cancers are side eye. My sister, OMG. Where is Cynthia in the chat? Who for her sister? She's a cancer, though. Cynthia's the cancer. Kia says, I am a great friend, never jealous and very loyal. Team Cancer, 718. That's what you think. I'm sure the cancers I'm talking about probably think they're great friends, too. AR says, Delulu is everything. I love that song. I wish I could play it for you guys here. Maybe at the live show. The live show, I'll play Delulu. Okay? My song. I played at one of the live shows, I think, though. I think I definitely did. KS says the same anger management that got her attacking Dennis's mom. Right. Well, now she's supposed to be the leader of this show. So she probably feels the weight of that on some level. Maybe. I have so much more I want to say about Porsha, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to save maybe for this evening. Okay. Ms. Alex says, Kempire, please. What did I say now? I don't even know what I said. Ateka says, my brother's a cancer. He's blocked for the next 6 months. Ateka, what'd he do? What did he do? Oh, he's just a cancer. Okay. Ooh, Saintly Iconic says, as a cancer, this definitely doesn't apply to me. I never wanted anything someone else has, and I celebrate others to a fault. And oddly, me and Porsha share a birthday. But here's the thing, and we talk about this all the time when we talk about astrological signs. just because your sun sign is a Cancer doesn't mean it really encompasses everything of who you are. Because Saintly Iconic, your moon sign and your rising sign could be very loyal signs and very honest signs. So, you and Porsha may be born on the same day, doesn't mean that your birth charts are the same. You both probably navigate things very differently based off of your moon sign and your rising. And then there's all the other things when it comes to how you love and how you deal with money and things. Your birth chart's really going to tell you more. Okay. JD says Tauruses are mean. Excuse you. I think people think that we're mean, but we're misunderstood. Okay. Danielle says it's in the water. All right. Foxy says she is the leader she's supposed to be. Porsha's supposed to be the leader. All right. Amara says Cancers are always slandered here. We have one side of the story, unfortunately. It's okay, but Amara, you still come back. You still come back, and we appreciate you. Okay. Oh, look at here come Nathan. I knew the Cancers were gonna come out the woodwork. Nathan ain't never commented in the live chat, but here he is. He says the Cancer pylon and hate is nasty work. Laughing out loud. And this is coming from a Taurus laughing out loud. That call is coming from in the house. Excuse me? Look, you see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And look, and the Cancers, they lie. They also lie, y'all. Cancers lie. Okay. Happy belated birthday. Speaking of Cancers, happy belated birthday to Wendy Williams, the queen of all media. You know we love Wendy Williams over here. I saw new photos of Wendy with her niece Alex, celebrating her birthday. Alex is always there for her Aunt Wendy. So shout out to all the Cancers. Cancer season's about to end today, right? Cancer season ends today or in the next couple of days this week. Mercury retrograde ends on the 23rd. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Tali says, and many times Tauruses do know it all. I know that's right. Kimberly says, happy birthday, Cancers. This is your birthday gift. Okay. Oh, Dorothy says, Virgo's finally catching a break. They are. All right. CJ says, not this Cancer. You guys take it too literal. Like I said, you need to know your birth chart. AB Cap says, happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday to your mom. All right. It's Cinnamon says, it's not this Cancer. All right. Oh, today is Laura Roche's birthday. That tells me a lot. Someone says I'm coming for the Geminis next. No, we already did Geminis already. All right, moving on. So back to this, guys. This is why these lives end up being 3 hours. Okay, but we have a lot to get to, and shout out to all of our sponsors for today because we have a lot of sponsors. Buckle up. All right, the sponsors want to be here. They want to be a part of the 2,000, 3,000 people that are watching. Okay, so shout out to our sponsors. All right. So back to this. So they're at the club. Porsha hightails it out of there. Shamea is crying to K. Michelle and Pinky and saying that, everyone left in the confessional. Another confessional that looks a hot mess. Shamea, what is this confessional look? I don't know. It's very giving what Pinky's confessional with all that blue and the feathers. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. Okay. Dina Cole says, happy birthday to my favorite cousin. She kept it very general because she doesn't want the other cousins to know. All right. Joy says, Tauruses do not claim Shamea. We do not. We definitely do not claim Shamea. Not right now. Especially right now. All right. So Shamea calls out Drew, Angela. She says even Cynthia, like she was shocked that Cynthia left. But Cynthia corrects her when they are going to the cemetery. She's like, I stayed for your song. In the confessional, she's like, even Cynthia left. And Phaedra left. Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice when Phaedra left. Okay. So she's like, oh, so they're now part of Porsha's litter. So she's basically calling them lapdogs for Porsha. Some of you agree with her, though. Some of you are saying that Cynthia's picked a side. Cynthia said in this episode, she's like, I don't have any beef with you, Shamea. All right. So the next day, day 3, this is what stood out to me, was the fact that Kelly and Shamea ends up coming back to the estate the next morning. So they stayed at a separate hotel. So that says to me, either it was the argument that happened about the mamas, and maybe Porsha's like, I don't want her here anymore, and that's why they were separated. But you remember there were rumors that there was almost a physical fight between Shamea and Porsha. That wouldn't shock me, allegedly. And that would be one of the main reasons someone would be separated from the rest of the group. All right? So Kelly and Shamea arrive back the next morning. All right? Phaedra goes to Porsha to let her know she's going to take part of the group with her to go see a cemetery. Because, this is just Phaedra's stick. Phaedra has nothing else to talk about. And when Shamea asks her questions about her personal life, you see how she's just like, well, I always take this as another, turn around the sun. And, I got a lot of things going on, with the children. Like, she will never go there with you guys. And I agree with Cynthia when she talks about, she's dated like 2 people in the last 7 years since Apollo, which is possible. But I don't believe that with Phaedra, because Phaedra's never going to give you anything of depth or personal. Which, again, why are you on the show? I feel like we got more personal from Cynthia than we did from you. And she's a friend of. Make it make sense. But anyway, I just thought of some tea that I need to spill. And I'm thinking to myself, and it's not about Atlanta. It's about another Bravo show. I'm wondering if I should wait to spill this tea for the September 25th show. I need to spill it to someone so that they can confirm, like, well, no, he told me in July. It's 12:34, 1, 2, 3, 4 here in New York. I like the numbers. Oh, that was a sign from my angels that I should spill it at the live show. Okay, I'll spill it at the live show. Okay. All right. Golden Tor Gaga says Phaedra is such a lawyer. I mean, I know a ton of lawyers too, and I don't feel like I get that level of just mincing their words like that all the time, especially if you're on a reality show. Allie says lawyers speak because she said boyfriends, meaning she's had men, just not her main man. Oh, that's a good point. Meaning that there were some, like she probably doesn't include Chi-Chi in that. Remember Chi-Chi, the one that she claimed was her fun thing. So she probably doesn't claim him as one of those people. So you're right when she says that. Anyway, so she has this conversation with Porsha saying that she's going to take Shamea, Cynthia, and Kelly to the cemetery. Porsha says that they aren't, because she's like, maybe taking them to the cemetery, we can bury the beef between Porsha and Shamea. And Portia's like, no, we are not going to bury it. She says, if anything, it has risen from the dead. Okay? So Porsha seemed in this particular moment that she is ready for all the smoke. And it makes me wonder, again, if the physical fight happened, that it makes even more sense that Portia's like, yeah, this is not over. And she said, yeah, and there might be more conversations had during this. And Phaedra's like, yeah, but it's my birthday. I don't want it to happen. And she's like, well, this is not my fault. I'm not the one who did this. She says that Shamea is trying to sabotage another trip. Do you agree with Porsha in this moment? Again, Portia's not the one who brought this up. All of this was ignited because Shamea at that table decided to ask Porsha about Pilar not being allowed over her home. And then a lot of you pointed out after our live yesterday was the fact that, well, Pilar's not allowed at your home. And you also said that you and Porsha were not in the best place, and that's why you didn't invite her to Gerald's party. So if my mom is not able to come to your house for a filmed event, why would the mother allow her daughter to go to your house? It doesn't make sense. I don't have any children, but it makes complete sense to me why Porsha would not want her daughter over the house. I know a lot of people are also saying, look how she dealt with Angela's child. Angela's child is a grown woman, and I still don't believe what Shamea said to Angela's daughter was that deep. People are still running with that, and they're like, oh my God, you talking to Angela's daughter. Calm down. That wasn't even that deep. But I still would not allow Pilar over Shamea's house. And I also don't understand why you would still want to be friends with Porsha after everything. I don't understand. Anyway, Nadia says, my child stays with me. And it looks as if during the time when they did have the falling out, Pilar was still doing like kid dates with Dennis and Gerald. And maybe at some particular point, Porsha was like, no, that's got to stop. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Especially because we always say that Shamea is cringy. There are things that Shamea does that I don't think she sees that could be seen as cringy. I'm not saying that she would do anything to Pilar, but I could see her saying something about Porsha in front of Pilar or in earshot that would be not the best thing to say in front of a child. And I'm not saying like it's harmful to, what I'm saying is I could see her doing something like that. And it's just best for everyone involved. Honestly, if someone said that to me, yeah, it might be hurtful, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to bring it to your table. Like, I get it. We're not cool. And maybe if we get cool again, we can, bring the children back together, but we're not cool. So let it be. Let it be. I'm not going to say that I would like it, but let it be. I just don't understand why you decided to bring that up at this damn dinner table in Scotland. I think she was crashing out. Crashing out. But anyway, moving on. I want to say thank you to our sponsors over here from RHOA. This episode is sponsored by RHOA. Let's bust a myth real quick. Everyone assumes that GLP-1s cost an arm and a leg. That assumption alone stops people from even starting. I've heard it from friends that wanted to take advantage of our code recently. But it's not true. There's a more affordable way than you think. RHOA has the lowest cost options out there, insurance or cash. Their insurance checker is free. Submit your card, skip the hold music, skip the confusing phone calls, and in a few days, you get a full report on what's covered. No coverage? No problem. RHOA still has lower cost, FDA-approved, cash pay, GLP-1 options, pills included, shipped straight to your door. If I needed this is the exact option that I would use. Go to rho.co/kempire to see if you qualify. That's ro.co/kempire. Go to rho.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. Thanks, RHOA. Boom. Sorry, I need to fix that. All right. I was trying to put on some lip gloss for you guys. Welcome back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Let me say thank you because we had a few super chats, but I did want to also point out this comment. Belisha says, I can too. She's inappropriate and she doesn't recognize her actions as inappropriate. That's what I'm saying. And which is a problem. I could definitely see Shamea saying something that might be like, maybe we shouldn't be saying that in the presence of Pilar. All right, we had quite a few super chats. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. SquareBiz, thank you for the super chat, says, Shamea was singing. She may not have been paying attention to who was in the audience. It's possible they had already left by the time she finished. Possibly, but now you got a lot more apologizing. I don't want to see another YouTube video. Okay, maybe we do, because we had a good Kiki when she posted that video, that apology video last year. Do another video, Shamea. She's not going to. She's not. V, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. V says, because I'm a Capricorn, I attract Cancers. Married one, but being a friend to one is a full-time job. Happy Monday. Ooh, the Cancers are going to have it in the replay too. I know it. Young Eartha Kit, thank you so much for the super chat, says, I'm a Cancer with a Leo moon. Leo moon. My loyalty runs deep because Leos are loyal. Almost to my own detriment. The lion in me is a fierce protector. See, you see what I'm saying? How it can be different? Because I have a Cancer rising, so I have Cancer in my chart. So that's how I'm a Taurus. Taurus is very loyal. Leo moon, very loyal. So I'm a loyal dog. Okay. All right. Thank you, Young Eartha Kit. Izzy, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Shout out to all our members, guys. Become a member today if you haven't tried being a member. Join here. There's also a discount to join over there on Patreon. Or choose one. Patreon's lit though, because it's uncensored. Just saying, you get a lot of content over there on Patreon. Okay. Izzy, thank you so much for the super chat. Izzy says, my high school bestie was an unhealed Cancer. That's the other thing too. We haven't even talked about that today in regards to healed sign versus an unhealed sign. Izzy says, my high school bestie was an unhealed cancer and was very jealous of me. My last straw was her trying to get others against me. Izzy, I can relate. Unhealed cancer. That's how we're going to clean it up. For the cancers in the chat that are offended, no, you're healed. Maybe. I don't know. You're not in my life. But we're talking about the unhealed cancers, okay? Andrea, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Andrea says, my sister is a... Wait. Andrea says, my sister is a team lesbian cancer, and she is nothing like Porsha, 17, okay? I have a niece born on 7/7 too. By the way, I'm a March Pisces. I'm happy it's cancers this week and not us. Love you. I just love that you guys keep coming back. At least I feel like for the most part, the people that follow the channel, the signs that we dog out are healed versions of those signs. Okay? Just saying. Mr. Melon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Says, I'm sorry, but you catching hands when it comes to my mom. Porsha better than me. Shamea would have met me in the alley and left bald like Gerald. Oh my God. Oh my God. But again, people are very protective of their mothers. So I wouldn't be shocked that when she saw Shamea as she was stewing on it from the dinner table, I wouldn't be shocked that, she was like, square up, ho. Square Biz, thank you. Speaking of, Square Biz, thank you so much for the super chat. Square says, it wasn't about the child not coming to Shamea's house. It was about the fact that she didn't trust Shamea to treat her child with kindness and care. I get that, and I get why she was hurt, but I also need her to understand why she would not want her child over there. You know what I mean? Shamea, get off your burner account. Excommunicado, thank you so much for the super chat. Excommunicado says, LaAngela and Phaedra left mid-song in episode 50 Flip stayed. Oh, Lord, I can't. Not 50 Flip. Thank you so much for the super chat, Excommunicado. Island Princess, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Says, she still doubled down on Watch What Happens Live. She's exhausting. Speaking of Shamea. We watched Watch What Happens Live together last night on Patreon. And I said this, that I felt like I miss the days where housewives were so entertaining on Watch What Happens Live. They came to play. They delivered with the shade and the funny. And Shamea was just like boring. And like, I was so bored. I was like, you guys made me watch this. This was a boring episode. And you're right. She did double down on a few things. But okay. Did you guys saw when she was talking about who she would want to put on pause and she said Angela? Andy said, that's never going to happen. I said her face probably cracked in the moment. The person she would put on pause would be Angela. Andy said, well, that's never going to happen. Well, damn. Tell us how you really feel, Andy. Queen of the Horn. I'm on a shimmy because you gave me $20. Thank you for the super chat. And for being a member. Queen of the Horn says, Porsha not wanting her daughter around Shamea's home might actually be the healthiest boundary. Maybe their parents should have done the same years ago instead of keeping their daughters caught in the middle of their issues. I mean, I also don't feel like the parents forced them to even be friends. I think they just remain friends, running in those circles in Atlanta. And maybe, look, quiet as it's kept, maybe Shamea came back around more specifically when Porsha was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Didn't she say she reconnected with Porsha when she married Cordell? When she came on the show, she was only married to Cordell for what, like 2 years? If that. She wasn't married to Cordell very long. Brandy, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandy says, I have a niece born on 7777 also. Oh my God, that's such a lucky day. Wow. All right, guys, look, I'm already tired. We have over 2,000 people here. Guys, do not forget to like today's videos. Easy for you supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show is happening September 25th at the Green Room 42. Get your tickets today. And don't forget there's a live stream option. So if you can't make it to New York City, this is your opportunity. But if you can, get your meet and greet tickets. I look forward to meeting all of you. I'm already resting up. I'm going to have to rest up. I text Brooke. I said, Brooke, it was like I was on stage last night the way I felt the next day. I was still in bed. It was like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, just going out. And being out, I didn't get home until like almost 1 a.m. between the traffic and by the time I left. But anyway. All right. What else are you guys saying in the chat? All right, let's move on. Oh, don't forget, guys, we are still raising money for the LGBT Center. If you check out any of our latest videos, you can still donate until we are going to make that $10,000. And everyone keeps telling me that I need to shame you guys. So I'm going to shame you. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. We got over 2,000 people here. If everybody here donated $1, we would already be at our halfway point. We're not even halfway at our halfway point. We are going to raise the $10,000 for the LGBT Center. You hear me? I've extended it until the end of the summer. So donate what you can, all right? Angel says, Kempire, did you go to the after party? No. And I told Brooke I wasn't going. I was like, Brooke, I am not going to the after party, all right? April says, shake it off, Kempire. You got to get back in those streets. Well, I will be in the streets just during the day, okay? I'm just during the day. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hold on. Thank you, Squarebiz. Thank you so much for another super chat. Squarebiz says burner account, meaning I am Shamea. I've been on your channel for a while now. Come on, I'm joking. Y'all can't take a joke, Squarebiz. I know that. We just say that when you start sounding like the person. Okay, calm down. But thank you for the super chat. Amina says, Kempire, please never change your intro music. My 4-year-old lives for it. Here we go now. Aw. You guys said the same thing about the last theme song. Your kids love that one. You said never change it. And when I changed it, y'all were so mad. But now y'all love this one. Oh, thank you so much, Foxy. Foxy says donated 3 times. All right, Foxy, you do not have to donate anymore. Please, but thank you. We appreciate the support. But you don't have to donate. You see, Foxy donated three times and somebody ain't even donated once. Okay? All right, back to this. Damn, I'm not even on day 3. Let's get to day 3. All right, so, oh no, okay, we talked about Porsha having the conversation with Phaedra, okay? So Porsha claims that she feels like Shamea is trying to sabotage another trip, okay? So some ladies are staying back at the estate, and Cynthia, Phaedra, Shamea, and Kelly are going to the cemetery on this tour, okay? But they look a hot mess. I'm sorry. They all looked a mess. Cynthia, Phaedra, Shamea, and Kelly, they all looked a mess. I'm like, what do you guys have on right now? I get it, it's cold in Scotland, but you guys look a mess. Phaedra's wig wasn't wigging. It made her look older. I literally said this last night. I'm going to say it again now. The jacket that Shamea had on, I said it looked like she skinned Cha-Cha, Kelly's dog, and put it on her back. Rewind the tape. Don't let me find Kelly's dog. Let me see if I can find Kelly's dog. Kelly. Let me see if I can find her dog. Because it looked like she skinned Cha-Cha. It looks like she skinned Cha-Cha and put Cha-Cha on her damn back. Every time I kept on looking at it, I said, what the hell is going on? Let me show y'all Cha-Cha. And y'all gonna be like, I see it. I see it. Please hold. Let me just bring this up. Poor Cha-Cha. That poor dog. That poor dog. Okay, Cha-Cha. Oh, wait. Y'all see Cha-Cha? Poor Cha-Cha. So every time I looked at Shamea's jacket, I said, it looked like she's wearing Cha-Cha. We haven't seen Cha-Cha in a hot second. We haven't seen Cha-Cha in a hot second. Is Cha-Cha okay? Is Cha-Cha okay? That poor mangy dog. They put Cha-Cha out of her misery and put it on Shamea's back. They put Cha-Cha out of her misery and put it on her back, y'all. Poor Cha-Cha. That poor dog. All right, I'm sorry, Cha-Cha. It's not even the dog's fault. It's not the dog's fault. Coco says search party for mange for the mange. Not search party for the mange. Lord. Ateka says, is Cha-Cha catching strays or becoming a stray? Oh! Well, no. Poor Cha-Cha. Look, she has no control over it, okay? Well, damn. Anyway, moving on. I had to find the photo because I said to myself, I was like, wait a damn minute. Where's Cha-Cha? On her back. Look, on her back. All right. Before I forget, let me I just want to pull up the call-in link so that we're able to put the call-in link down for our members first before we call anybody, before anyone else is able to come up. Let me just do that. Guys, as I'm doing that, be sure to like today's video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We will also be posting the audio of our live recaps, a cleaned up, edited down version of our audio of this live on the podcast. So make sure you guys subscribe. And while you're there, do not forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts as well. All right. Back to this. Let me open. Where'd my notes go? Like, I have so many damn screens. I don't know how y'all do it with one screen with a computer. I'm like, oh, where's my things? All right, I have one thing on this side, another thing on this side, and multiple things on this side. All right. So back to this. The ladies go to the cemetery. I was so distracted by everyone's look. They looked terrible. Phaedra says that there are a lot of famous people buried at this cemetery, and they're like, who? And she's like, I don't know, child. Phaedra just says stuff, okay? She just says stuff. So Kelly calls out Phaedra and Cynthia for leaving so abruptly the club last night, okay? Cynthia says that she actually stayed for Shamea's song. Shamea says that Porsha started this by talking about her mom on social media. So they showed the post that Porsha had posted, but people wanted to highlight the reason why Porsha mentioned Shamea in that Instagram story was because Shamea had talked about her mom during the episode. I remember watching the episode. We played it during last week's recap as well. I don't feel like she was dogging out the mom. However, she did mention Miss Diane, meaning that Miss Diane doesn't really see it for her, blah, blah, blah. So Porsha went on social media on her Instagram story and said what she said, and basically was just like, you do know what your mom did to my mom was very egregious. They end up talking about this, though, during the reunion. The last reunion, okay? So, I don't know. I guess she's been holding this in, okay? So, Cynthia says she stayed for that. Shamea brings up the fact of what Porsha said on social media, okay? And she said that Porsha, that moment that Porsha brought that up on social media, it went viral. And it did, because we did a video talking about it, okay? All right. Aisha says, Kempire, where can I buy tickets to your show in September? I am new here, but glued here. In the description. Go check out the description. Mods, if we could post a link in the live chat, that'd be great too as well. All right. Or you can scan the QR code. There's a QR code that we've been posting up. Just bring your phone up to it. You can scan the QR code and you can buy tickets there. You can buy the live stream tickets, meet and greet tickets, and things like that as well. Okay. So, Shamea says that Porsha went to hell with her in regards to coming back with your mom slept with one of your father's brothers. Okay. Here's the thing, though. I said this last night on our Patreon watch party. Do we believe that Porsha went to hell, or did she just match Shamea's energy? I feel like Porsha matched her energy. I don't feel like she went to hell, because I feel like she went to hell in the tweet in regards to accusing Shamea of sleeping with her manager, who was who's married to one of her high school friends, and the pastor. Here's the thing. On Watch What Happens Live, Shamea says that she, you saying that I slept with my pastor, you got me, ducking and diving at church, basically. And the pastor basically said, don't worry about it. I understand. She never said your pastor. She said a pastor. She said a pastor. She didn't say your pastor. Okay? Right? Am I wrong? Do I have the tweet still here? I don't recall Porsha saying your pastor. I recall her saying a pastor. Right? Let me bring up the tweet. Please hold. Please hold. I'm not blocked on Twitter, so I can look it up. Look, I can look it up. Okay. What did Porsha say on Twitter? Let me see. Oh, Portia's been retweeting people. Lord have mercy. She's been retweeting people since last night. Uh-oh. Let me see. Where is it, Porsha? Oh, no. So Porsha said, wait, just catching up here in the Bahamas. Did you guys see that moment where they were talking to that drunk man? They're in the Bahamas. They're on a very long vacation in the Bahamas, Porsha and Sway. So Porsha was approached by this man multiple times, like a drunk man multiple times. And in the video, you can see that Sway is just like, carry on, sir, carry on. So a lot of people are like, oh, tell Sway to be quiet. Sway was doing too much. They came out. I don't know why y'all even addressed. I guess Sway was in her feelings about how people were talking about her. And it was like, I was protecting her. The man kept on coming over. I figured the man was drunk and kept on coming over and was being annoying. But anyway, back to the tweet that Porsha posted last week in regards to Shamea. She says, wait, just catching up here in the Bahamas. Yo, I can't believe there are actually people talking about my mother and mentioning my daughter in a negative way. Was this really worth it? Shamea took this way too far. You're not innocent while you've got people discussing my mom because of a lie you told on this show. If we're going to discuss it, keep it between us. Now let's discuss you sleeping with your manager who's married to one of your high school friends, as well as a pastor. She didn't say your pastor. Because on Watch What Happens Live, Shamea was like, you got me sleeping with my pastor, blah, 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 blah. She said a pastor. She didn't say your pastor. Just saying. And it's a pastor in Decatur. Is that where she goes to church, in Decatur? So she assumed it was her pastor? She says, as well as a pastor in Decatur who 100% is on your roster, along with many more. Not many more. Not many more. Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to correct the record. Because I was like, wait, she didn't say your pastor. She said a pastor. Just saying. Aisha says, yep, you telling on yourself, Shamea. Okay. Look, okay. All right. Who said Duluth? Omar says she said Duluth. Who said Duluth? Who, what, where? Okay, anyway, back to this is unimportant. Let me get back to my notes. In this episode. All right, before we move on, today's brought to you by our friends over at MyFitnessPal. Shout out to them. So I want to talk to you about something that I've done on and off for years, even before this was a sponsored anything. Intermittent fasting. Have you tried it before? For me, it was never about extreme dieting or anything like that. It was more about giving my body a rhythm, a time for my body to eat and a time for my body to rest. And when I was dialed in, I really felt the difference. My energy felt steadier and I wasn't crashing in the afternoon. So this is real for me. But here's the real deal. For me, back in the day when I was doing intermittent fasting, I had to rely on timers, reminders, and I would forget. I was like, wait, when did I stop eating last night? When can I start eating today? Well, our friends over at MyFitnessPal is making it even easier to track your intermittent fasting if that's something that you do. So when I found out MyFitnessPal Premium has a built-in fasting tracker now, this is it right here. Look how simple. It actually walks you through it. You pick your goal. There is a 12-12 if you're brand new and easing in, a 14-10, or the 16-8, which is the one I do. 16 hours fasting and 8-hour eating window. And I love that it tells you right here, check with your doctor before making big changes. And there's even a what is intermittent fasting and is it right for you link built in. It's not pushing you, it's informing you. And as you'll see in the app, it's calculating everything for you. You set the time that you want to start fasting, and it automatically lets you know when you can break your fast. It even gives you tips on how to be successful at intermittent fasting, like stay hydrated, increase your protein, and more importantly, listen to your body. So the thing that I used to have to juggle timers, memory, is now all in MyFitnessPal Premium. As I mentioned to you guys before, I recently met with my nutritionist. So fasting isn't for everyone. And I like that the app always tells you speak to your doctor, speak to someone with the expertise in this, just to see if it will work for you. But if this has been something that you've been considering, now you have one place where it does everything for you. Because as I've been telling you, nutrition is the foundation of everything, especially when it comes to your energy, your sleep, and your recovery. And it's not just about what you eat, it's also about the rhythm of when you eat. And I'm so happy that MyFitnessPal Premium is making that just so much easier for everyone in every lifestyle. So if intermittent fasting is something that you've been considering or you've already been doing and you didn't realize that with MyFitnessPal Premium, it now makes your life so much easier when it comes to tracking it and going back and seeing, oh, how many days did I intermittent fast this week? It does it for you in MyFitnessPal Premium. As always, I've gotten you a discount. Go to podcast.myfitnesspal.com and use code kempire, all uppercase, for 15% off premium. All the information on your discount and everything MyFitnessPal will be available in the description. Thanks, MyFitnessPal. I was about to say, I was like, I need to add my stuff to my MyFitnessPal today. One got me a little snack while the look, got me a little snack. I'm gonna add my little snacky snack to the situation here. Hold on, let me do barcode scan. I'm doing this live with you guys. Hold on, and then we'll get back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Oh, it looks so quick. Done. You see how quick that was? Go get your discount today, y'all, on premium. I actually really like this. It's really cool. Okay, there we go. All right, logged. All right. Shout out to MyFitnessPal for sponsoring today's recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you are a Royal Court member or Senior Royal, I've already dropped the call link for you guys so you have a heads up. We're not getting to the callers just yet, but we will in a moment. We're still talking about the last episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you haven't checked it out already, be sure to check it out. Let me just bring up this super chat. Thank you so much, Brown Sugar Babe. I've been high for love, don't know how to behave. Sorry. Brown Sugar Babe says, hey, Camp, I did my birth chart and I'm a Pisces and I have a Libra moon with a Leo rising. I had to find this out before I was trying to relate to K. Michelle and can't. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to K. Michelle, too, because I see that she's been acting up on social media. We're going to talk about it in a moment. We're going to definitely talk about it in a moment. All right. So in this cemetery scene, we have Shamea says that Porsha went to hell with her, but she thinks that that Porsha went to hell with her. But I think that Porsha matched the energy. Phaedra says that Shamea has been stirring the pot. I thought this was interesting. She said that Shamea has been stirring the pot. She was saying, she told Pinky that I said that she ate meat. We did see that. We did see it. And she says that she says something, terrible to Angela's daughter. I feel like that was a reach. Okay. But she feels like Shamea is stirring the pot. Do you guys agree with Phaedra? Cynthia says that she would have defended Shamea if Porsha had brought up Shamea's mom. Shamea says, well, no one said anything when she mentioned my mom on social media. And then they show what happened from before. But we already went through this. I hate that we have to keep regurgitating the same thing over and over again. But we saw that the reason why Porsha even posted that on her Instagram story was because of something that Shamea said in the episode from last season about Miss Diane. But didn't Miss Diane in the scene say that you got to be careful of the dog that carries the bone? Talking about Shamea. Not Miss Diane called her a lap dog too. All right. So then Porsha ends up calling her sister Lauren. Porsha says the vibe has been pretty good during the Scotland trip between her and Shamea until the night before. So she starts to tell Lauren about everything that played out between her and Shamea. She claims that Shamea was even before this situation that happened the previous night. She claims that Shamea was, quote, gloating about having access to her daughter Pilar. And they go back and they show a FaceTime that she had with Cynthia, not Cynthia at the scene of the crime. But here's the thing. I feel like Porsha might be reaching a little bit, y'all. And you guys let me know. Just based off of what Cynthia was saying, I was like, I didn't get that Shamea was gloating, but saying that, yeah, I don't have a relationship with Porsha, but I still get to see Pilar and things like that. That's how I took it. But the way that Porsha says it to Lauren, okay? Oh, Tyrese says that Porsha is gaslighting the audience. I felt like she was reaching a bit. But that's how she felt. So she says that she felt like that Shamea was gloating, that she still has access to PJ. And maybe that's when Porsha told Dennis that Pilar was not allowed to have those go over Shamea's home. Okay? But again, the way that they copy and paste things and cut things on this show, they're using that conversation between Cynthia and Porsha as a way to confirm the gloating. It could have been something else that Shamea said to someone else. So I don't know. Because we've seen them literally do that in just last week's episode, where they're sort of like copying and pasting a moment to prove what someone's saying in a scene. So that might not even be the scene that Portia's referring to. I don't know. I don't know. But Porsha says, this is where I go twerking on the fence, because some of y'all are so black and white. I'm like, well, you're watching an edited show. You can't be so black and white, because Porsha could be talking about something else that she heard and not the scene that we get to see between her and Cynthia. Because if we're really basing it off of that scene, then I'm just like, I can't say that felt like Shamea was gloating, but okay. So she tells Lauren that that Shamea is gloating to people that she still has access to my daughter, okay? And she says, don't use my daughter as a flex. Porsha tells Lauren that Shamea claimed that her mom wanted to sleep with her dad. Porsha, it's funny to me. Porsha really delivers, when it comes to the funny sometimes on this show. And she was like, my mom tried to sleep with your dad? She was like, your daddy ain't never had teeth. I said, oh, well, damn. She said, your daddy ain't never had teeth, basically saying that her mom would never. I don't know if I believe that, but fine. She's got to defend her mom. I don't expect her not to defend her mom, okay? So she said, your daddy ain't never had teeth. Porsha says again that Shamea's mom did, in fact, sleep with one of the brothers, one of her dad's brothers, one of Shamea's dad's brothers. Lauren tries to, because Lauren is always going to be the one with some sense, okay? Because Lauren says you both could say a lot about each other because you guys have been friends for a very long time and you guys know what's going to trigger each other. And she tells Porsha that you don't need to react or play into it. Porsha's is like, She says the higher road is beyond her at this point. Well, damn. She says the higher road is beyond her. Again, it makes me wonder whether or not the reason why it's beyond her is because it almost got physical. I'm wondering. If we look at this scene with the idea that maybe there was a physical situation that almost happened, it might make us look at the situation a little bit differently in regards to why they might not be able to go there or be friendly. All right. But again, bringing up your mama and saying that your mama tried to sleep with my dad is enough, for a lot of people. But there is this word on the street that maybe there were. Okay. Okay. Sharkhead says, y'all comments are taking me out. I'm glad I don't see all the comments. Okay. Exactly. Namaste Jay says, I love Lauren and I love how she wasn't petty or messy on that call. I agree. I agree. She was trying to calm Porsha down, and Porsha was just like, yeah, it's beyond me at this particular point. She says that Shamea is trying to destiny swap. She says that it's deeper than mirroring someone at this particular point. She believes that that Shamea is jealous of her, and that she's trying to have her destiny. I guess her destiny is to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Look, I believe it's on both sides. I believe they both are trying to destiny swap. I think that Shamea sees things in Porsha's life that she wants, like the Real Housewives of Atlanta and all of what comes with that. Like, your friend is more famous than you. You've been in 2 different groups. You had record deals, and none of that has launched you into stardom. She's been trying to do this since she was a young girl, and none of that launched her into stardom. Then she gets a taste of it, because please understand, even being a friend of the show and being on this show has given her a taste of what it could be. And she's always wanted to be a full-time housewife. And I've seen all the receipts that a lot of you pulled out. We even did a video talking about one of the interviews that Shamea did, that she has always said, and some might say the reason why she said that was because she was still friends with Porsha. So she's not going to throw Porsha under the bus in these interviews. But she always said the reason why she wasn't on the show was because production told her that your husband would have to be on the show. Your husband would have to be on the show. She said it in multiple interviews. I saw a whole compilation of her saying in multiple interviews the reason why. She said she's been asked to be on the show before many times, but she could not be on the show if Gerald was not going to be on the show. Maybe. It's very different than what she said last week. She said, you asked me not to be on the show because this was your thing. I can see both of them saying. I can see Porsha saying this, but I could also see part of the reason why you weren't on the show was because Gerald wasn't willing to film. We also have to keep in mind what happened during the 2 seasons that Porsha wasn't on the show. Why weren't you considered then? And Kandi was your friend, and Kandi was on the show, and Kandi had suggested you to production and the network, and they didn't consider you then. Was it because Gerald didn't want to film? I want to know, which one is the truth? Which one is the truth? I mean, both could be true, but what about those last 2 seasons? Seasons, 13 and 14? No, 14 and 15. What about those? What happened then? Duchess Door says, I think Shamea is Atlanta famous and was hoping this show would help her be more famous beyond Atlanta. I think she was, especially from being a friend of. There are people that know her outside of Atlanta after being on Real Housewives. So but I think that's part of her motivation to be full-time on the show. But all right. I'm so tired. At this particular point, I'm like Pinky. I'm so tired of the Shamea and Porsha situation. Okay. But all right. So Lauren tries to simmer Porsha in the situation, but Porsha says she can't fake the vibe anymore. She can't fake it with Shamea right now. So there's a separate spa day that they tried to have at the estate. So Porsha brings the women to the sauna and the hot tub, and it's all outside, and it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great at all. All right. I do find it interesting because the way that people dragged Angel's trip on Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'm not saying that this trip is the equivalent, but what I'm saying is that there are these elements, depending on how it's highlighted and how it's edited and what's focused on. If they had really focused on like, damn, Porsha, this is a boring trip. We ain't doing much. We out here in the cold, blah, blah, blah. But it's not framed that way at all. You know what I mean? But I just, I thought that was interesting. So the sauna wasn't saunaing. The hot tub wasn't hot tubbing. The women went out there in their bathing suits. I didn't realize what Pinky had on until we get into the estate, because Porsha wants to show them where they're planning to have Phaedra's birthday dinner. And for those of you that were watching on Patreon last night, I said, wait, we had to rewind the tape. I was like, wait, what the hell does Pinky have on? Pinky had on this fishnet covering and her bathing suit under it. I didn't notice what she had on until they were leaving the room. And I said, is that her booty all out? Is her booty all out? So we had to rewind the tape, and then I saw the front, and I was like, it was giving Phaedra from how many seasons ago? Remember when she came in that fishnet thing and her booty was all out? I was like, what is going on? What does Pinky have on? But they were going to go in the hot tub, so that's why she had the bathing suit on. But I was just like, wait, what's going on right now? Anyway, so they go to sit down. The women that are still at the estate. Drew thanks K. Michelle for playing her song. And K. Michelle says, I might poke a little fun, but she doesn't live in hate. Do you guys believe that? Because now it's all good. But I don't understand what K. Michelle's real issue with Drew was. She, during these recent interviews, said that she believed that Drew was the mastermind behind bringing this information to the show, which at this particular point never was brought to the show. You brought it to the show. Okay? Okay. So K. Michelle says, she pokes a little fun, but she doesn't live in hate. Okay. So Porsha's asked by Pinky, because we know Pinky's always going to be a producer. She asked by Pinky, why did she end up leaving the club? And she's like, you know what? Shamea's behavior from yesterday was unpredictable, and she did not want to be around it, basically. She says that she was finally letting her guard down around Shamea during this trip, and she felt like that came out of nowhere. Pinky says that she has seen some changes in Shamea, which was actually a surprising part of this particular episode, was how Pinky really has shifted in her opinion around Shamea. She says that she's seen some changes in Shamea, and she says at the airport, she asked Shamea, like, how are you doing? And Shamea was just like, I'm ready for whatever's ready for me. Like that, she said that was the energy. Like, I'm ready for whatever's ready for me. And everyone's like, ooh, why would she have that energy? And K. Michelle says that, yes, she has seen a change in Shamea as well. But what she's seen is that Shamea is really hurt by the friendship. Porsha claims that her and Shamea were on their way back to being cool. This is what Porsha claims, that she felt like they were on their way back to being at least somewhat cool. And maybe they could have actually gotten their way back in Switzerland. Oh, wait, they're not in Switzerland. They're in Scotland. Okay. She's like, she felt like they were on their way back. K. Michelle in her confession was like, you're lying. She's like, you're lying. She said she's talked to Porsha multiple times, and she said she's never said that they were trying to make amends, that she was trying to make amends with Shamea. Look, Porsha is not the pinnacle of truth. But at the same time, would Porsha confide in K. Michelle about that? I don't know. Okay? Bree says, I don't believe Porsha. Do you guys believe Porsha? Dion says, the lies, the lies, the lies. Okay. But with that being said, we don't necessarily see Porsha being like shady necessarily to Shamea. I'm not saying that she was overly friendly to Shamea, but we don't see in the edit, again, we're watching an edited show, we don't see in the edit Porsha being like wrong to Shamea or doing things to Shamea during this trip. Okay. Porsha says that Shamea hates her. She says that Shamea could have gotten their friendship back together during this trip in Switzerland. I mean, where are we again? Scotland. That's what Porsha didn't know where she was. All right. Let me say thank you, Marquel. Thank you so much for the super chat. Marquel says, all the things Shamea has about Porsha is null for me. She's on the same stove calling the kettle black. Okay. OMG. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Tasman, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Tasman says, Kemp, didn't we see Shamea's dad in the scene earlier this season? We did, at the house. Now, Porsha knows that man has teeth. They may be fake, but he got some. Well, I don't remember. I don't remember if he had teeth or no teeth. But I thought that was funny, regardless. But maybe he got some fake ones. You're right. Maybe he got some fake ones. LE, thank you. Let me shimmy for the $20 super sticker. Thank you, LE. Thank you for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Okay, Young Eartha Kid, thank you for another super chat. Young Eartha Kid says, ain't no hot tub in Scotland hot enough to call for what Pinky had on. Save that for a trip to the Caribbean save that for a trip to the Caribbean, ma, in my Liz voice. Yeah. I was like, whoa. When she turned around, I was like, wait a minute. What is going on with this outfit? But okay. Raina says, I thought so. I thought they showed him. They did show him. He was when they went to Shamea's house. Remember? And her mom was making. Ellie says, "You better shimmy." Oh, now you forcing the shimmy on me. Now this feels inappropriate. Okay. All right. All right. Let's get back to the cemetery tour. So Phaedra's flirting with the tour guide. Shout out to all the tour guides, because I remember that's got to be one of the hardest jobs. You got to bring the personality, no matter how you're feeling. You're dealing with all different types of personalities. Shout out to all the amazing tour guides that I've had, while touring different parts of the world. But Phaedra talks about her fascination with cemeteries. This is her shtick. This is what she's going to lean into. She's never going to lean into anything that's real, but fine. So she talks about her fascination with cemeteries, and she says she might, we're not sure, she might be on a date. Cynthia's commentary about this might be a date was hilarious to me. And she's like, it's giving very chaperone. Okay. All right. Shamea says, why is Phaedra going to this old concentration camp? Because she has her own demons. I don't understand the level of vitriol that Shamea has towards Phaedra, but the confessionals that Phaedra has on Shamea aren't the best either. But I thought this was interesting when she says, why is she going to this sort of, where there might be demons when you have your own demons? I was like, wait a second. I was like, all right. So Shamea says that she stays back while Cynthia and Phaedra goes with the tour guide to go check out this haunted spot where the exorcist died. Okay. So she has this conversation with Kelly, and she says that she's actually finding peace now that she's sort of like let things out and being more truthful. Kelly says the group has taken on Porsha's beef as their own, and says that Porsha is a known liar. So she says that, people are not looking at the facts of the situation. And this might be part of the reason why the beef between Kelly and Porsha was reignited on social media. You may have seen that. I did a video talking about this. So Kelly says the group is just sort of taking on Porsha's beef. Do you guys believe that? Do you feel like the group is just going with Porsha? I think it's partially because there is years of friendship with this group of women that they don't have necessarily with Shamea. But I also feel like Shamea has done this to herself as well. Okay. I do think that two things can be true in regards to that. So Kelly says that they're just sort of taking on Porsha's beef, but they forget that Porsha is a known liar. I mean, no arguments there. Okay. So Shamea asks Phaedra, they get back into the car to head back to the estate. Shamea asks Phaedra more about like what's been going on with her, about her birthday, and Phaedra's giving you very sugary, sweet answers. And then she asks about how's it co-parenting with Apollo. And Phaedra says that she talks to him when she has to talk to him. I appreciate Shamea trying to get something out of Phaedra, because she's a full-time housewife and she's not giving anything personal. Okay. Phaedra claims that she hasn't really dated since her divorce. She's had like 2 boyfriends. Mind you, you see when she's talking, you see that Cynthia's sleeping. We have to remember when they're filming these confessionals, they're not watching clips. It's the producers reading to them what's happening in the scene. So producers can leave out context. They can make it shadier in regards to how they're telling the moment. They can also pull shadier responses from people saying like, come on, Cynthia, you could say something shadier than that. Do you believe that she's only had 2 boyfriends? That's something to keep in mind. What we're watching is being coaxed and produced by production. Because in that moment, I don't even think Cynthia was awake or even knew what was happening. But in the confessional, Cynthia's just like, come on now. The way that Phaedra be dressing and looking, all right? She says that she knows someone's in between those thighs. Oh, okay. She knows someone's in between those thighs. I believe that too. And I also believe that those Atlanta streets talk. and they know who's dating who. It's also very small. It's very small town vibes. So I do believe that maybe she's had 2 boyfriends, but she's definitely been busy, which is fine. But again, you're on a reality show about your life, Phaedra. We need a little bit more than what you're giving us, right? I think we need a little bit more than what Phaedra's giving us. Okay. All right. Let me take a sip. Let me see. All right, so Porsha then leads the women into the room where they're going to have the birthday party. So this big like library with a table. All right, so they're like, oh my God, this is going to be really, really pretty. So what stood out to me was what Pinky had on. I really didn't care about anything else, but she gets a phone call, Porsha, from Phaedra that, oh, we're on our way back. We're like 5 minutes away. So Portia's just like, oh, okay, guys, we got to go. We got to get dressed. We got to get ready for this birthday dinner. The birthday dinner, which is so weird and weirdly edited, because when I look back at the pictures, and I'll show you guys the pictures again, what happened to the scene where they're all dressed in these green hoods? What happened to that? And when Phaedra was in this blue fur outfit that she had on and her hair was up, what happened to the scene? Because clearly when you look at this other photo from the mid-season trailer, they're all wearing what they wore to Phaedra's dinner. But you can see Phaedra is wearing a different outfit. So what happened here? Did Phaedra go up and change? Did they decide to reshoot the scene? It's not making sense. What happened? I want to know. I really wish we could have gotten the Traders moment, because for me, that's probably the moment I was looking forward to the most. But okay. All right. Okay, before we get to the birthday dinner. So as I mentioned to you before, we watched together last night on Patreon, and we also watch What Happens Live together on Patreon. So this morning, K. Michelle decided to respond. Well, last night I think she decided to respond to some of the things that Shamea said on social media. But before we do that, we got some more sponsors. Shout out to our sponsors. Look, you know these YouTube streets, they pay, but they don't pay what they need to pay. So shout out to our sponsors for sponsoring today's live. We got nearly over 2,500 of you here for our recap, and even more that watch the replay. So shout out to our sponsor, Square. Support from today's episode comes from Square, the business platform that helps sellers become neighborhood favorites. Whether you're gearing up for a busy season or just trying to keep up with the everyday demand, Square keeps your business running smoothly, from payments and POS to online orders, inventory, staff, and more, all in one place so that you can focus on your customers, not your to-do list. Ready to grow or streamline how you run things? Square is offering listeners up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/kempire. Again, SQUARE.com/go/kempire. Start with Square and build a setup that grows with your business. You know, I'm all about the little details that make an experience feel elevated. And one of the things that I noticed recently at my chiropractor's office, they provide a bunch of different things, including Pilates, including massage. I noticed that they use Square. I noticed how seamless it made my checking out experience with them every week. Tap, done, and the receipts already in my email inbox before I even put my wallet away. That's Square running quietly in the background, building the Kempire as an actual business, not just a YouTube channel. I get why that matters. When the tech behind the counter just works, the owner gets to focus on the customer instead of troubleshooting a card reader. Square puts payments, POS, and inventory and staffing all in one system, so a business owner isn't juggling 5 different apps just to open for the day. And they've made pricing simple too. 3 clear plans: free, plus, and premium. So you pay for what you actually need, no hidden fees or surprise upcharges. Square helps you run your business more smoothly, bringing payments, operations, and insights together in one place, so you're ready for whatever's next. Right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/kempire. That's SQUARE.com/go/kempire. Get started with Square and build a setup that works the way you do. And we're back. Shout out to Square. Again, more information on all of our sponsors and your discounts, guys, are available right now in the description. We appreciate them sponsoring today's recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. Thank you, RC. RC, there's almost 2,500 people in the building, and we're not even at 1,000 likes. I don't know. And we've been live for almost 2 hours. And we haven't even gotten to some of the things that I want to talk about. We haven't even gotten to Phaedra's birthday party yet, or our callers. But if you are a member of the channel, I've already dropped the call-in link for our members on the post tab here on YouTube. Guys, don't forget, you can also hear our recaps and special episodes. Don't forget, there are special episodes available on the podcast. So subscribe today and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. There was another thing that I wanted to... don't forget, we are still raising money for the LGBT Center. We have not even come to half of our goal of $10,000. All right, 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Shout out to everyone that's already donated. Foxy's already donated 3 times. Thank you, Foxy. But some of you have never donated, or you haven't shared our videos for people to donate. You can find the donation link if you're watching the replay of this somewhere along the video. But if you go check out any of our last videos, you'll be able to find the donation link. All right. Hey, Daylin. Daylin is celebrating 26 months of being a member here on the channel. So thank you, Daylin. This episode was a snooze fest. Hey, everyone. Not this episode was a snooze fest. RC, thank you so much for donating. We appreciate your support. Hey, De La Shay. De La Shay is back. Spill the Housewives tea for more likes. Nope. Why do I have to do that? I'm already entertaining you, De La Shay. All right. Thank you, Ari. Ari said I donated $50 today. Thank you, Ari. Okay. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. All right. Stacy, thank you so much for the super chat. Stacy says, I think the group is tired of Shamea. Us too. She said, us too. I can see that. I could definitely see that. Miss Lee, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Lee says, same outfit. I just think the top was covered. Like maybe she did a reveal or 2 looks. I wish we couldn't seen those other scenes. I wish we could have seen those other scenes. I mean, probably, I don't know, but she did change. It's definitely a different look that we did not see in Scotland. So it's definitely the same night. So maybe they were going to play a game, but I was like, why would you edit that out? That's so weird to me. Foxy, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a King's Guard. Foxy says, Phaedra has been filming more scenes that production chose to not bring on the show, though. She brought over Apollo. Yes, I saw she talked about this. She brought over Apollo's oldest son to meet her boys, but production did not bring that scene on the show. Just saying. Yeah, that is true. She did mention that on Watch What Happens Live last week when she was a guest, that they had the scene with Apollo's long-lost son that they didn't include. So I know a lot of people saying that she's giving friend of, but obviously they didn't think those scenes were important enough to give more weight to her story. I guess this trip about being about her birthday is what makes her legitimized as a full-time housewife, but okay. All righty. All right. Let's move on to Phaedra's birthday party. That's a perfect segue to talk about Phaedra's birthday party. They all looked a mess. I mean, the only person that really looked really great, and first of all, why weren't they all wearing the sash? I felt like Angela's sash really fit her outfit. I didn't necessarily love Angela's whole look, but her sash actually perfectly matched and was perfectly placed on her dress. I didn't like any of the looks. I saw that Drew wore her sash. Who else wore the sash? K. Michelle did not wear her sash. They were sort of like carrying it. I didn't like Cynthia's outfit. She looked like a disco ball. I didn't like that. Porsha, for me, was the best dress. Hair, makeup. She looked fantastic. Her latex dress was a latexing. It wasn't giving this. Okay. It definitely was not giving this. Hold on, let me remind you. It was not giving partially rubbed down. All right? Just pitiful. Just pitiful, Kelly. Everyone just looked a mess for the most part. Except Porsha. Even Phaedra. I didn't love Phaedra's hair and makeup in that particular scene and dress. I didn't like it. But that's me. Anyway. So the tension between Shamea and Porsha everyone can feel it because Porsha comes in and she actually stands right next to Shamea. And they're like, oh, well, Porsha, let's see your dress. And she's turning around. And then the edit shows Shamea making a face like, Shamea and her faces. Like, Shamea, why are you letting them see you sweat? This is why I know you're not a real tourist, because a real tourist is not going to let the camera see us sweat. We might make faces, but we're not going to do it then. Like, okay, she looks good, right? So Phaedra's, also Phaedra didn't wear her sash either. So I don't get it. What's the point? Look, what was the point? So Phaedra points out that her and Cynthia started the show together. When did they start? Was it season 3? And I almost forgot about that. So they go way back, almost 20 years. They go way back. But I really liked what Cynthia had to say about Phaedra. It was really sweet, sort of like toast to Phaedra on her birthday. Like, your resilience is inspiring, and she loves seeing that. Okay. Porsha then decides to make a speech and talk about her friendship with Phaedra. And I'm not just going to point out what Shamea said, but Kelly and Angela had to say, Porsha is definitely putting more sauce on this to sort of like lessen her friendship with Shamea. Shamea says that Phaedra's really your friend. She didn't even go to your wedding. Some people might say that she didn't go to your wedding. Did that make her less of a friend to you, Shamea? But hear me out. Based on my sources, Porsha and Phaedra are not really friends. Based on what you see on social media, Kelly points it out, they don't even hang out on social media. I mean, people might say social media is not a real thing, but in real life, from what I've heard, they don't hang out. They're not friends like that. We've talked about this here on the channel. That whole freaking frack thing is a shtick. They were never really close. Are they? I think that they're associates. I don't think that they're close at all. Just saying. But I found it interesting them pointing it out in this situation. And look, the people are going to say like, oh, Shamea, you're just jealous. They're friends. No, they're not. From what I've heard, they're not friends. They're associates at best. Okay? They're not real friends. And we talked about this last season when they met up to have that first scene. We were like, they ain't seen each other in a month of Sundays because they've never really been friends. Okay? All right. So Porsha makes this big old speech about their friendship, and when she's been down, Phaedra's been there for her. So she got her a special plaque, and the plaque is honoring her as the lady of, what is it? The lady of? Oh, the Lady of Glen proclamation. Okay? So now you have to call her Lady Phaedra. Lady Dr. Phaedra is what she says. Okay? Phaedra talks about why she loves cemeteries, and then K. Michelle gets triggered because she says, death scares her because she's been near death multiple times. And she's like, have any of you almost died? Pinky says, yeah, almost twice I've died. And then a couple of people at the table like, yeah, at birth. Shamea said, I thought Porsha just be saying stuff. Porsha was like, yeah, like twice. I was like, Porsha. I'm like, okay, but fine. Maybe she has. But K. Michelle gets really emotional. She starts crying and she says, have you had, I got really emotional hearing that my mom is being told that I might not make it through these surgeries. She talks about what she's done to her body and blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. Have we learned anything new from K. Michelle this season? And look, the Bravo universe isn't familiar with her, so they have to know her story and all that. She's going to be dealing with this for the rest of her life. But in that moment, I was just like, how did we go from the cemeteries to now this? And this is my problem, not with K. Michelle, but my problem with people that have done reality television for so long, that they're always self-producing. And I think she wanted to have this moment in this conversation, okay? But my other thing with K. Michelle here is that, yes, being scared of death is a real thing, and I know a lot of people that can relate to it. And you're talking about you having to go through all these surgeries. But we just had a few episodes ago, you going back for surgery, an elective surgery. This wasn't a surgery you had to have, okay? An elective surgery. I'm like, I guess you're not that pressed. That's the thing with K. Michelle. You got to really pay attention because K. Michelle has an interesting relationship with the truth as well. She has a very interesting relationship with the truth. Okay. But okay. Anyway, so she gets emotional talking about that. You know, of course, they're there for her and they're supporting her. A bunch of y'all said that y'all love cemeteries too. I'm not gonna say I don't love cemeteries, but I wouldn't mind going to a cemetery like on a trip. Because I've been to a few cemeteries on a trip abroad because there's history there. I've actually been to a few cemeteries on a trip. I mean, cemeteries have a lot of history, and I like history. Okay. Asia says all of them are all liars. Well, damn. Okay, fine. So K. Michelle has that moment. She says, I don't know. You know, she has that moment where she talks about her mom reacting, her son being emotional and things like that. She says she's got it. She knows she has to accept death, but she finds it scary, which is a real thing. Okay. So Angela is triggered by this because, you know, she just lost her mom. Drew opens up. She hasn't even visited her father's grave, and he's been passed away since 2 years ago. Okay. So she has to step away. Both Angela steps away, Drew steps away. Porsha gets up to go check on Drew. Okay. When Angela comes back, this is the moment that Shamea decides to, I guess, tell the group, apologize to the group. I don't know why she had to wait till Porsha left, but she decides to use this moment to apologize to the group for, you know, making it awkward at the dinner the night before. Okay. Pinky had me cracking up because in her confessional, with this confessional look, a mess. Where's Pinky's confessional look? Pinky basically says, okay, you are now a professional apologizer, Shamea. She says, and I don't want to see a YouTube video you at the end of this apologizing again. I have to agree with her. It's a lot. It's a lot, Shamea. But then her own bestie is like, stop apologizing. Stand on it. And then her bestie decides during her confessional to put her legs in the air. They have to censor it out because she's telling her bestie, stand 10 toes down on what you said. And then they're like, girl, we just saw your booty crack. And she was like, I don't care. Like, really, Kelly? Like, we didn't need to, like, ew. You might not care, but you have to remember, this is a professional. Here go the HRME. This is still a professional environment. The people that are working there, the cameramen, the producers, the lighting people, the sound people, all those people, the interns, the people that are working there, they don't want to see your snatch. That's inappropriate. I get it. We're in reality television. We're doing entertainment, but they don't need to see your snatch. Okay. You're like, oh, I don't care. I care. I would have been very uncomfortable. Why do I know what your vajayjay looks like now? And I gotta pick up that damn chair and put it away. Okay? A mess. There was a particular point during her confessional, she was talking about there's a voodoo doll about her. Like, can they just get rid of the fat that's here? And I was like, the first thing if I had a voodoo doll of Kelly, the first thing I'm gonna get rid of is whatever outfit you got on. Okay? I'm gonna get rid. Exactly. Omar says coochie crack, Kenya. That's basically what she was doing, flashing everybody. And I'm gonna flash y'all again. If I have to watch it multiple times, y'all gonna have to watch it too. Why? And then that confessional look, boobs just hanging low because she's not wearing a bra. Like, I'm like, God, just a mess. Just a mess, Kelly. Get it together, please. All right. So that's the end of the episode. That's basically the end of the episode. They end up partying and they end up having them bring in a cake for Phaedra's birthday. And then we're all looking around during our watch party. We're all looking around like, wait, is that it? Is that it to the episode? There's not more? Isn't there supposed to be more that happens? What happened to this scene? What happened to the traitor scene? Okay. What happened to everyone at the table and Phaedra in another outfit? Why did they edit it out? Why did they edit it out? I don't know. But we're going to call it out, right? We're going to definitely call it out. Thank you guys. We just hit over 1,000 likes. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We appreciate it. You can also support the channel by sharing our videos. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. There's also a subscribers live chat. Isha says, oh, wow, so classless. And this is who Shamea calls a best friend. Well, in all fairness, Shamea calls a lot of people best friend. Shadrika, thank you so much for the super chat. Shadrika says, Kelly tries too hard for me. Hence why she might be besties with Shamea. Shamea also tries a little too hard. Charge says, Kempire is traumatized by Kelly's confessionals. I mean, it's pretty damn bad. But not just her. Look at Pinky's confessional. Aren't you triggered? I'm triggered too, y'all. I am very, very triggered. Okay. Very triggered. All right. Moving on, guys. Let's get to, what did I just do? Please hold. There we go. All right, guys, don't forget to like today's video and don't forget to check out our sponsors. There's all kinds of discounts happening right now with all the sponsors that we've shared with you today. We are going to get to some callers, people that want to share their opinions. If you're a member of the channel, I've already posted the call link on the post tab. So thank you to everyone that's been waiting behind the scenes so patiently as we talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just a reminder, please respect the timer. Please respect the timer. If you can't hear me now, please drop out and come back. All right. If you can't hear what I'm saying, callers, please drop out now and come back. All right. But please respect the timer. Before we get to the callers, we have another ad. Shout out to our friends over at DraftKings Casino app. Slot fans, the wait is over. Lightning Link is available online for the first time ever, and DraftKings Casino has it. DraftKings Casino is your home of a Lightning Link. New casino players can play $5 and get 1,000 spins, including 500 Lightning Link spins. That's 50 spins a day at varying values for your first 20 days. Strike now to claim your offer. Download the DraftKings Casino app and sign up with code kempire. Then spin Lightning Link high stakes anywhere, anytime. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia only. Void in Canada. Eligibility restrictions apply. Non-withdrawable spins issued as 50 spins per day for 20 days. Valid for select games only and expire each day after 24 hours. Spins values vary. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends August 23rd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. The Girls Club says Kev's really into sports doing a DraftKings ad. They must have been seeing our coverage. We've been talking the sports lately. Right? Come on now. We've been talking the sports. Congrats again to Spain for winning the World Cup, and shout out to England for winning third prize. I honestly found their game to be far more entertaining and interesting on Saturday. That was so good, that game. To the point where I came in late at the game and I saw who won, and I was like, oh wait, let me watch it from the beginning because it was such an intense, really, really good game. So I had a good time watching the World Cup. All right. Let me say thank you. We had a super chat from Maddie. Maddie, what's going on? Maddie says, can you give me an example of a Scorpio Bravo reality TV star, or are we too smart for the mess? Eva the Diva. Phaedra is a Scorpio. No, there's a few Scorpios. I can't think of the other ones, but those are the ones that come to mind immediately. There's more. You guys let me know. Oh, Bethany. Bethany's a Scorpio. Ramona is a Scorpio. Who else? I feel like there's more. There's more. Hey, Care. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Care. Kid said, this is my first live I'm catching in person. What's going on? Hey. Look, ow. Look, ow. What's going on? Shout out to everyone that's being here. All right. All right. All right. Shout out to all of our sponsors for today, and thank you guys for being patient with us. And again, take advantage. You know, that's how we get more sponsors. You guys taking advantage of the discounts that you get from our sponsors. So be sure to check out the description for more details on all of our sponsors. We appreciate them. Tammy says, I'm happy that Spain won over Argentina. Argentina brutal when they play. And getting away with it too. But okay. Sana says, yikes, not Ramona. Not Bethany, right? But yeah, those are the Scorpios that I can think of. Tamara? No, Tamara is a Virgo. Okay. Hey, Anika. Anika says, my first live. Thanks, Kempire and chat. Shout out to, if it's your first live, let us know in the chat. Okay. Asia says, I don't claim Ramona as a Scorpio. We've been talking a lot about astrological signs during this recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We can continue it in the comment section after the live. We have quite a few members waiting patiently behind the scenes to share their thoughts on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we're going to get to the callers. Keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged and of their own opinion. They're calling in of their own free will. They agree not to say anything derogatory, illegal, and everything that they say is alleged. Okay? And they agree to respect the timer. Okay? Because there are members backstage, the members will get a nice, juicy minute. But the general audience, once we get to 1,200 likes, I'll drop the calling for the general audience. You will get 30 seconds, though. All right? And if you are a member that calls in later after I drop the call link, you get 30 seconds, too. So Demi's backstage, Izzy's backstage, Kiana's backstage, Angel's backstage, Elijah's backstage, Tyler's backstage, Born to Win's backstage, Dalen's backstage, Keith's backstage, Namaste Jay's backstage, Noda Queen is backstage. Those are the members getting a minute, okay? Please respect the timer, all right? Yeah, the football season just started. I can't say that I'm going to get into it, okay? Kimmy's backstage. We're going to count Kimmy. Kimmy can just join backstage. All right, let me bring up Demi first. Hold on. Let's bring up Demi. Hey, Demi.
Hello.
How are you?
I hope you're having a good day. I really do.
I am.
I enjoy your lives.
Thank you, Demi.
Very good. You look good. You look really good.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted to say, as a Libra that has healed from the emotional abuse of a Cancer, I think it's very interesting that Shamea talks about the longevity of their friendship, but doesn't know how to communicate with her for resolution. Okay. That's very interesting to me. And it's, you know, it'd be kind of funny too, what if Diane and Mama Morton are literally have an old beef and are putting their two daughters against each other, like they want to settle the score. That's what I was thinking about as I was watching. I'm like, why would this be coming up? Like why would your daughter even know about this? Like, you know, her husband tried to, or, you know, whatever it was. Also, I really enjoyed Phaedra's scenes at the cemetery. It felt truly genuine. It felt like she was really like, this is the world she's in. She wasn't pretending to be someone else, or, you know, sometimes she can, yeah. It means nothing to us. Yeah. This actually meant something to me. And I was elated to see it. I had one more thing about, oh my goodness. Oh, well, I'll go on that note then. Can't remember what it was, but you have a great day. Good seeing you.
Thanks, Demi. Take care. I will agree. I do believe that Phaedra enjoys a cemetery, but she also plays it up. But like I said, I've been on many trips. I've been to many cemeteries. I didn't even realize it until this live. I was like, oh yeah, I've been to quite a few cemeteries during like tours, because there's a lot of history in there. I do think that she's a history buff, like I am. All right. Wait, hold on. Nurse Bebby says, Kempire, my sister met Charles Oakley during the Knicks game, and he gave his number to my nephews, saying that he could be a great mentor. Aww. At first, when you said he gave you the number, I was like, wait, not Charles getting caught outside. No, to your nephews, saying that he would be a great mentor. Aww. I'm assuming you live in Texas because he wasn't allowed to watch the games here in New York. Oh, that's great. I thought this was going somewhere else. I thought this was going somewhere else. But no, give it to your nephews. Okay. All right, let's bring up Izzy next. Izzy, what's going on?
Hey, happy
You
Monday.
too.
Okay, so I'm gonna defend Shamia just a little
That's
bit
okay.
because, um, like I said in the chat, I had that high school friend who was an unhealed cancer and it took me through a whole bunch of emotions
Mm.
because, and I wonder a little bit if Shamia has a little bit of Libra in her chart because I do, and my sense of fairness is very, very strong because when I was dealing with this former bestie, they would say other things that they felt wronged, they felt that I had wronged them in various ways,
Mm.
but to other people would never really bring it to me and try to pull other people to their side. So I'm just
Mm.
wondering if there's a little bit of that going on in the background. I do think that she is sensitive and Shamia is a little sensitive and a little bit cringy, but I think where Portia loses me is where she tries to make it seem like there's nefarious intent. I think
Mm.
that girl is just sad.
Mm.
I don't think that, the way that she's trying to make her out to be like, oh, it's like the devil in her eyes and this, that, and the other. That's where she really loses me because I think, for us looking back on the history, it's not like, oh, sorry, real quick, that Portia's been adverse to bringing up things that have been very damaging and lies about
Mm.
other people in the past. So I'll just say that.
Mm. Okay. Thanks, Izzy.
Mhm.
Bye. See, I'm glad we bring these things up because I'm like, oh, I can relate to that. I can relate to that when dealing with cancers. Teddy says Libra gang. Okay, Libras. All right, Kiana's backstage. Let's bring up Kiana next. Kiana, what did you want to share about? I was about to say America's Next Top Model. What did you want
Hi,
to share about
Kempire.
Rouse? Hey, how are you?
I'm I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you want to share?
Okay. First and foremost, I think a lot of people forget these shows. While they're not scripted, written per se, they are heavily edited and redacted and
Hmm.
put together by a host of writers and editors and a team. And I think whomever they're using now is they need to go back to who they used back. I'm gonna say seasons 5 through 9. You know, I think all these women are taping and recording, but they're giving what they know the people in the comments want to see.
Mm.
And everybody really want to see the drama. They want to, for lack of better words, comment on Portia, who she slept with, Shamea, she has the big house and, whatever. And I think they need to take their eyes off that and kind of just go back to the way things used to be.
Mm.
But, and then people say, well, Portia is jealous of Shamea. I think two things can be true. I think Portia does want the husband, the lavish lifestyle. And I do think Shamea wants that love and that fame, that fame that Portia has. To
Mm.
say two things can be true.
Mm.
And also,
Your
I said
time
it
is
on your
up,
show a month.
Kiana. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call back. Thank you.
Thanks, Kiana. I'm just trying to get to. I gotta cut y'all off when the timer hits. You may not hear the timer, but I do. Okay. Angel's back. We're gonna bring Angel up next. Angel, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire, happy
You
Monday.
too.
I would like to say your watch party was way better than that hacked up episode they gave us. Even watching the Peacock one, it was bad. It's a 4.5 for me, and that's being very generous. Um, and it made me feel like a baller though, because my home spa with my sauna looks way better than that castle, so that made me feel good.
Ooh.
But seriously, Shamia and Portia will never be friends again. There's no way you can talk about either's parents the way they did and rebound. And Shamia is a lot lopsided for thinking she just matched Portia's energy because Portia has just been ignoring her for all 17 episodes or whatever we're on. So I think she came in hot, a little too aggressive, and I can't wait to see the reunion. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Angel.
Thank
All right. She did that in like 40 seconds. All right. Let's bring up Elijah next. What's going on, Elijah? What do you want to share about Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So what I wanted to share was a couple things. Firstly, Pinky, she seems so happy to look a mess consistently. Like I swear, it's like she just be happy in those scenes looking a hot damn mess. But the other thing I want to say is I'm not trying to be this. What I'm saying is not about being on a Shamia hate train because I just see a lot of people talking about bullying, and it's irritating to me because we've seen actual housewives go through that, such as Wendy Osefo, Candace on Potomac. That's a big thing, right? I don't believe Shamia has been bullied. I think that being bullied is coming from a place of you are a victim of behaviors that you didn't bring on yourself. And I feel like Shamia's behavior this season has brought on a lot, and beyond that, even her close friends. Pinky and Kay are also noting her behavior. She came into the trip with an aggressive energy or an energy like, in other words, like I have whatever they got from me, I got for them. It's like, why would you even go in with that? You know what I mean? And then it's like another thing is like we talk about, oh well, she didn't say anything necessarily that wrong to Angela's child and whatever. Some people are defending what she said about PJ. And the whole thing is Brittany mentioned her child last season, and even in that moment, she got upset about that. You know what I mean? So I just feel like we got to see both sides. But that's all. Have a good day.
Thanks, Elijah. All right, let's bring up Tyler. Tyler, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. I will say this as a friend who used to be a people pleaser and made mistakes of saying things to other people, not about their personal business, but about how I feel about our friendship. I can see why Portia feels some type of way. Because if there's a certain dynamic that has always been there, she's probably like, well, girl, just tell me because everything gets stirred up. But on the flip side, I do think that Shamia is getting what she deserves, but I also feel like she is being bullied as well. There's only one person on the show that's bullying her, and that's Angela, because Angela has no reason to, really be doing what she's doing, and she's playing fan favorite. That's in my opinion.
Ooh.
Now, everyone else, I mean, what you did, you tried to do the same thing to Drew, Shamia. I'm sorry, you tried to, and it flipped on you. And Portia is very performative, and I'm telling you, how she ran down that aisle to Drew, girl, you didn't care. You just you know what will make Shamia feel some type of way, and Shamia knows what will make you feel some type of way, and you both are doing it. You know Shamia hates to be ignored, hates to be isolated, so you're doing that. That's all.
Thanks, Tyler. All right. Born to Win's backstage. Born to Win, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey,
Happy Monday.
you too.
Okay, so when it comes to Shamia, I'm gonna be Team Shamia. Yes, she has her, parts that she has played, but I do think a lot of them is minor, and they're just mixing in different areas that people are taking and trying to collaborate it together and try to make it seem like, oh, everything happened within the sequence orders, which is not true. Because when it comes to the moms, especially, to your point earlier, Ms. Diane did say something first about Shamia. And Shamia could have went off the deep end then and even said something very disrespectful as far as saying what she said on the show at the dinner. And then that would have just been like, hey, let me not hit your daughter. Let me come straight at you since you kind of pretty much came for me. So everyone is missing that piece that it stemmed from that moment. Before then, Shamia went to uh Miss Flip Flop on the fence, Cynthia, went to her and said that to her, that comment was made about her. And then that's when everything picked back up, when Cynthia went back to Portia with that. So if we want to talk about order sequence, that's how that started. And we can just keep it from that point on, okay? But I am Team Shamia and Kim Michelle, another Flip Flop. So
Ooh.
in that one, we didn't see comment. Pinky, another Flip Flop. Oh, them jumping ship. I'm sorry. Have a
Okay.
great day.
Thanks, Born to Win. Okay. Look, I look, and Born to Win's not alone. I do see there is a sector of the fandom that is Team Shamia and can see Shamia's side of things. And over here, I welcome you guys to have a different opinion, because maybe you can convince me. Just saying. All right, Dalen's backstage. Let's bring Dalen up next. Hold on, Dalen, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Dalen, why you sound far away?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can. I'm just gonna say this. Shamia, before the show started, Shamia kept saying that this was her villain era, and now that the show is playing out,
not in her favor. She wants sympathy, and I can't agree with that because you were supposed to come in this season standing 10 toes down on your performance of the reunion. And I just feel like she's just reaping the repercussions of her being passive aggressive and not just battling your problems head on. So I just feel like she brought all of this to herself. And you've been on the show long enough to know that you have to stand on what you say. And you've stumbled on business. And I just feel like if she would have come with that aggression, but like placed right, because I feel like she had a lot of strife with the other ladies because of the things that she was doing. But she can't take ownership of what she did because she wants to be somebody's victim. But this is also your villain error. I'm gonna need you to choose one, babe. And that's it.
Thanks, Dalen.
Everyone have a nice day.
You too. All right. Hold on. Let me restart the clock. All right. Let's bring up Keith next. Keith, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Atlanta's latest episode?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So I just wanted to say, I think Shamea just looks crazy because she chooses to wait 40 days and 40 nights and 40 years and 40 months. She needs to learn to address stuff head on instead of waiting so long to bring it up, because now she just looks psychotic bringing up something after she still chose to remain friends with Porsha. But also, I want to say, I understand that Porscha's shade towards Shamea's dad was a good Kiki, but this is to Porsha and really to anyone that has a deceased parent. I don't think y'all should really be talking about anyone's parent if your parent is deceased, because Shamea was to post a photo with her father and said, "Daddy on my arm, no daddy on your arm." The fans will be in an uproar. So I feel like Porsha really needs to. I think this whole thing went low, but the moment you start talking about people's parents, everything just goes out the window at that point. But yeah. Oh, and one last thing, Angela. It was funny that you tried to shade Shamea on being able to dance next to Porsha after shading her mom. Meanwhile, you're dancing next to her, and she says she will F your husband. But okay, that's about it.
Damn. Oh my God. Oh. All right, let me bring up Nota Queen. Okay. Hello.
Hey,
What's going on, Nota Queen?
I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by all these people. The problem with Portia and Shamea is that they are one and the same, and they try to act like they're so different. Like they're birds of a feather. Everything they say about each other applies to themselves, and that's why I don't have grace for really either of them. But the problem is Portia is playing checkers and Shamea is playing tic tac toe. And that's how she keeps getting beat up like this, because Shamea was trying to trigger Portia at that dinner, but now Portia's trying to trigger Shamea, and she's tactful enough to do it with her hands clean. And that's how Shamea keeps getting caught up with this whole situation with Portia. And I'm sick of them. I don't know. Shamea got to go. That's all. She could take Kelly with her. Also, I think that Trader sheen was fake because I was looking at the chests. I don't see no lumps, bumps, cleavage, or nothing. Are those interns? Who are them people?
Well, no, when you when you go back, you can actually see Cynthia's. I think it's Cynthia's mouth that I saw when they go back, and when you watch the actual mid-season trailer, you can definitely see that it's them that's under there.
Ain't no weave or nothing. I don't know, but that's all I gotta say.
Thanks, Nota Queen. Take care. All right, Kimmy's backstage. Guys, you're just joining us. We're taking callers for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Kimmy, what did you want to share?
Can y'all hear me okay?
Now I can.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to say that, not to sound like a wet blanket over here, but representation matters. So I'm really happy to see Pinky and people with real bodies on TV. I mean, she's a real businesswoman, and she looks like people look when I know they don't be on TV and stuff, like when they go on vacation. And it's her first season, so I hope that people will give a little patience for, I hope everyone's end up looking like the same person, because I hate that when everyone starts having the same doctors and everyone's body is so to be so perfect. I think it's just so bad for I guess the society as a whole. I mean, I don't know, forgive me, I'm a shrink, but I just think about women and bodies and development. I watch the show for escapism too, but I hope that we learn to celebrate all of them, all of us, and have a little fun kiki along the way. But I just hope that doesn't become like no one who looks different can be on the show. That's all.
Okay. Thanks, Kimmy.
Bye.
All right. All right. I almost forgot to talk about Watch What Happens Live and K. Michelle's toxic tweets. So I did want to, before we continue with our callers live chat, once we get to 1,200 likes, I will drop the call in link for you guys to call in as well as share your thoughts on this week's episode. We're almost done. The season finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta will be August 2nd. So in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now. So we have the season finale. So that's probably why they edited out the scene. They probably just couldn't fit everything in that they want to fit in. So then there's that. I did want to talk about what K. Michelle was reacting to. So first, I'm going to play a clip under fair use. Bravo. It's a real quick clip anyway. Shamea was playing one of the games on Watch What Happens Live. And she had this to say about, she had a few different things to say about the cast. And I told you one of the things that she said, oh, who would you put on pause in one of these games that she played on Watch What Happens Live? And she said Angela, and Andy was just like, well, that's never going to happen. He said, well, that's never going to happen. I know her face cracked. Because I would have been like, So she also played this other game where she was reacting to her castmates. And this is what she had to say about K. Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, just stay the course. You ain't got to jump ship or choose teams. You can be everybody's friend, girl.
All right.
Okay. Shout out to our friends over at OMFG Reality TV, where we got this clip from. Say What You Should Mean is the game that they were playing. And this is what she had to say about K. Michelle. I'm going to play it one more time.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, just stay the course. You ain't got to jump ship or choose teams. You can be everybody's friend, girl.
All right.
She also talked about why they unfollowed each other. So according to Shamea, K. Michelle unfollowed her first. I'm not surprised at that. But Shamea says when she found out that she unfollowed her, when she unfollowed her, so she unfollowed K. Michelle back. Same. Look, same. Fellow tourist, K. Michelle followed me during the filming of Real Housewives of Atlanta's season 17, probably because production was like, yeah, you should follow Kempire. And as she didn't realize I'm going to give you the real, she ended up unfollowing me. So when I noticed that, I said, well, unfollow to you back. Okay, she didn't block me though, like Porsha did. Okay, so I'm not surprised by that. Well, after she did this, she went on social media reacting to some of the things that Shamea said on Watch What Happens Live. So let me show you some of her tweets. Shout out to our friends over at the RHOA Talk on X. So K. Michelle's in a couple of tweets. She at Shamea and says, Shamea Morton, don't play coward games now. You ain't gonna shift the narrative on me. Your third time trying and speaking on me. You scared about what I might tell. Oh, what? I'm not surprised by any of this. We already knew because Shamea was friends with the candy-coated clique. Rashida got bags. We already knew that this friendship between Shamea and K. Michelle was not going to last, okay? Just because of that. So she says, Shamea Morton, don't play coward games now. You ain't gonna shift a narrative on me. Your third time trying and speaking on me. I'm actually surprised this is the first time that she's actually addressing Shamea. I mean, it's not the first time because when they unfollowed each other, she says, a friend to all is not a friend to none. That's the one thing she said. But she says here, you scared about what I might tell. Oh, tell them why I don't mess with you. Does the Waldorf ring a bell? Excuse me. Wait, what? Does the Waldorf, the hotel, ring a bell? Because remember, that's where she says she likes to go. Her and Porsha, apparently. That's where Porsha and Simon used to, Is that where she brings her roster? Allegedly. Sorry, I know someone has a bell like this at home right now and they're listening. They're like, wait, is someone at the door? They probably already went to the door. She says, does the Waldorf ring a bell? She says, I'm loyal until I'm not. I don't know if I would you say that K. Michelle's loyal? Just based off the history, we've covered so many K. Michelle stories over the years. I don't think that I would say that K. Michelle is loyal. Okay? She says, I'm loyal until I'm not. See, you can't play fake victim with me. I know too much. T-O-O, not T-O. I know you were accepted into multiple law schools. I go just TOO. She says, I know too much. Chill. Hashtag WWHL. Watch what happens live. Okay. She wasn't done though. K. Michelle then in another tweet says, definitely no advice needed from you on being a friend. I mean, look, say what you want about Shamea, but Shamea's friendships aren't in shambles. Like, who are the friends that we can look to that are still friends with K. Michelle? I'll wait. Look, I'll wait. She says, definitely no advice needed from you on being a friend. Me not messing with you has nothing to do with jumping ship. And you know this. I have the same friends I've had all season. But look. Pay attention to what she just said there. I've had the same friends I've had all season. If she had said, I had the same friends that I've had since I was in college or in high school, I'd be like, oh, we've never seen that. However, she's like, I've had the same friends I've had all season. It hasn't even been a year. Okay. It hasn't even been a year. Okay. It hasn't even been a year. She says, I've had the same friends I've had all season. Well, not really, because you and Shamea are no longer friends. The difference now, and you were friendly with Porsha at the beginning of the season, then you guys had a falling out, but I guess the contract got renewed. Okay. She says, the difference now is that I don't have to sit around and defend you all day. Oh, dead that narrative now about teams, because you know that's not what's happening. Okay. And then she said in another tweet, reunion needs to hurry up. I mean, wait, I'm willing to have an open mind and see what receipts are brought at the reunion, but apparently according to Shamea and according to Phaedra, Shamea brought the most receipts at this reunion. So I'm interested to see, like, what exactly is the beef between Shamea and K. Michelle. I will say this, based on what we've seen these last couple of episodes, we've only seen K. Michelle be supportive of Shamea for the most part. Unlike Pinky. Pinky has kind of thrown Shamea under the bus. I do see K. Michelle trying to be a friend to Shamea. Okay? And, I mean, there were quite a few tweets that we covered this past weekend from K. Michelle. So if you missed that video, again, mods, if we can post the link to that video. So for the people that may have missed the other toxic tweets from K. Michelle. So K. Michelle says, I've had the same friends I've had all season. All right. Okay. So what do you guys think? What do you think? I think the friends that she had this season might be very different than the friends she'll have next season. Okay. Nice talk me. It says, is that my DoorDash? I'm about to report these kids playing at the door. Oops. Look, oops. Oh my goodness. All right. Who do you believe, guys, in this situation? I don't think no, this is Housewives. So I'm not surprised that K. Michelle said anything, especially when you see what Shamea says here in this moment.
K. Michelle,
just stay the course. You ain't got to jump ship or choose teams. You can be everybody's friend, girl.
All right.
You could be everybody's friend, girl. Okay. All right. Live chat. Once we get to 1,200 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys to call and share your thoughts. But we still have some members backstage that want to share their thoughts on last night's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But first, thank you to Young Eartha Kid for another super chat. Says, did y'all already mention K. Michelle tweeting about Shamea pushing a narrative that K. Michelle is jumping ship? I caught that on Watch What Happens Live. Well, you're welcome. We just covered it. Thank you for the reminder, though. Thank you for the reminder. Dalen, thank you so much for the super chat. Dalen says, glad to have the chance to call in again. Much to you, Kempire. Everyone have a nice day. You too, Dalen. Thank you so much for the love and for the super chat and for being a member of the channel. All right, we still have a line of members backstage. Become a member today, guys. This is not one of the perks, but there are all kinds of really great perks, including a discount for our Patreon. So join our Patreon today if you haven't already. I will be live there this evening to talk more unfiltered about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll even set up like a call-in link for you guys to call in. We'll see. Maybe we'll set that up for another time. All right, Melissa's backstage. Let's bring up Melissa next. Melissa, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do. Just this channel, the community has really brought me through some difficult times just by the laughter, the love, the everything. And I'm such a Cancer. That's the, emotional side of me coming out. But with that being said, Shamea and Porsha, they will never be friends again. As a Cancer, there's nothing Shamea can
She's
do
done.
at this point. As Cancers, once we feel like you've crossed us as a friend, and we hold people close to us to a totally different level because we don't let you get that close to us. So if you do, and if you've been friends with me for years and decades, like Shamea and Porsha, and for Shamea to go talk to everybody else about their problems, that's line number one that was crossed in the Cancer's brain. And then number two, with the whole bringing up PJ and the mom and all that stuff that happened at the dinner, at this point, there's nothing that can happen. And this point on, I'm expecting Porsha to be the unhealed Cancer that she is and just unleash the holy hell wrath that a Cancer can bring when we feel like we've been crossed, and especially if you ain't healed. And Porsha, I don't know what kind of therapy she done went to. She need to go back. Love the girl as a fellow Cancer, but she's an unhealed Cancer. And yes, we can be a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I don't expect Porsha to be Little Miss Sunshine when it comes to Shamea. Thank you for everything. See you in September.
Thanks, Melissa. See you in September. Yes, guys, don't forget we have our live show coming up September 25th at the Green Room 42. If you're watching on YouTube, just click the QR code. Click that QR code. Bring your camera up and click the QR code. It'll take you right there. Let's sell out another live show at the Green Room 42. There's a live stream option available as well. Meet and greets are available. I'm going to rest up until then because just even me going out at night. So can you imagine on stage? Okay. I have a lot of stuff that I want to share, but I just feel like between now and then, I'm going to get even more information, even more tea. So buckle up. All right. Kathy's backstage. Let's bring up Kathy next if I can find my mouse. There we go. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kempire. I just got off a phone call, so I'm so happy. Good. I have nothing much to say. I'm not on anyone's team, not Team Shamea, not Team Porsha. They both are liars, in my opinion. So no team. I will say I think Porsha read the comments and read a lot of commentary because what she said about the destiny swapping, if I was Shamea, I wouldn't want to swap with the Porsha. Sorry. I mean, I just don't know what is there to swap for. Like, what is nothing interesting about Porsha. I will say she has great energy, but when you look at Shamea's life and Porsha's life, I'm like, I'd rather have a Shamea life if I had to pick a life.
Well, Shamea wants to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah, but I don't know what Shamea just need to find her identity. I don't, because this is not for her. Like, find something that is for Shamea. And I think that she wants fame. I think she wants to be exposed, but what she's doing is not good. It's not good for her marriage. She has a good husband. She has her children. She has a good friend. She has a circle of friends. That's one thing. Porsha doesn't have that. I never see Porsha have long-term friendships. Her sister and her fell out. The cousin that passed away, they was not on good talking terms. So there's a lot of, so that's why I say I can't take sides, but if I had to, it would be Shamea. Because Porsha just look unstable. She look like she's all about herself and no one else. And because of that, you can't maintain good friendships and long-term friendships. I don't see her having I don't know, she does have good energy. Like, she's a friend. If she was my friend Porsha, she would be the friend I will hang out with, but I will come home. I won't share my business. I won't tell her nothing about my money. I won't share anything personal. It will be surface. No. Just let's go have a good old time and come home.
She's just a party friend. She's just a party friend.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing, no death, no nothing, because I wouldn't trust her at all.
I
would
agree.
have a good old time. Have a good one.
You too, Kathy. I agree. I have to agree with her. Noda Queen, thank you so much for being a member for 16 months. Noda Queen says that Destiny Swap comment from P proves to me that she did tell Shamea she didn't want to run the show. I don't blame her though. I mean, I don't blame her either. You know, people want to have their things. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If anything, I probably would respect Porsha even more if she had said, well, no, I did say that to Shamea. Because this is my thing. Shamea really does have everything else. However, I changed my opinion about it years later. I told her that many years ago because this was my thing, but now I felt differently about it because now I've cemented myself on the show. I would have respected her more if she had said that, because I do believe, Shamea, that Porsha did say that. 100% believe that she said it, but okay. All right, live chat. We're almost at 100. We're almost at 1,200 likes. Once we get there, I will drop the call link for you guys. Keep liking the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. I don't know why I have to beg you guys to like the video. You've been here for almost 3 hours. Why aren't you liking? Are you just gathering information for your own recap? Well, good luck with that, okay? Because karma is real, okay? Karma is real. You're going to be begging people to like your video, all right? All right, let's bring up Tish next. Tish, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. So first of all, I was trying to DM you the other day some DMVT, but it got out anyway about Miss Stacy being married. But anyway, yeah, I know. I saw it 2 weeks later. I was just like, Anyway, I agree with No the Queen as well. I think Shamea and Porsha are like the same people. The only thing I'll say is I said this the last time and I'll say it again. With Shamea, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I find that it's interesting that all of a sudden that as soon as Porsha starts pressing gas, Shamir is ready to hit the brakes and all the things. And last night on Watch What Happens Live, when she was just like, oh, I am just gonna move on from it because that is what we said. That is what you said last season, and that's not what you did. But all of a sudden, now that Porsha is spilling tea, she's taking the higher road, and I do believe there's a reason why she's doing that. The other thing is, I don't understand how people don't see. Like, I've established a pattern with Shamea. She's running to Britt Edie, because Porsha never told us she was in therapy. We still don't see Porsha in therapy. We only know that because Shamea told Britt Edie. She's running to Cynthia. She's running to Angela. She obviously ran to K, Michelle, and Pinky, talking about Porsha. So I don't understand how people do not see that Shamea really is a pot stirrer and causing the problem. So that's the only thing I have to say, that they're both the same people. But if I had to pick a side, I'm on Porsha's side in this situation. Because honestly, Porsha really did give her grace and try to ignore her, and she still kept coming.
All right. Thanks, Tish.
All righty.
I did forget to mention that on Watch What Happens Live that she did spill that at the reunion they decided they would move on, but then you saw the tweet that Porsha posted after the reunion about the tea about Shamea's life, and that's when she started talking about her pastor. And I told you that's not what Porsha said. She said a pastor. She didn't say your pastor. But she didn't deny any of the other stuff. So okay, all right. Born to Win. Wait, Born to Win. You have to wait. All right, Jay's backstage. Jay, what did you want to share? Jay?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Jay? Jay?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. Hi. I love you, by the way.
What's going on?
My days go by so smoothly. I just want to say that I believe, like everybody else, Porsha and Shamea is the same. I feel like Porsha really didn't want her on the show. Shamea was dying to be on the show. I feel like Drew probably told Angela about them go naked checks. So Angela trying to see what their money about, because I feel like Angela is about her coin low key, and she got to make up for them houses that got foreclosed. That's why she going on Shamea so hard, because Porsha was like, girl, I'll throw you a little bone if you go on her so hard, because I can't, because it's gonna make me look bad. And I feel like Porsha low-key mad at K Michelle because she brought K Michelle on the show, and then K Michelle just jumped ship and started defending Shamea. And she looking at K Michelle like, I brought you on the show. How you going to defend Shamea? And I'm the one who brought you on here. Like, if anything, you're supposed to be on my side. And then I feel like Pinky just caught in the middle of it, because she low-key want everybody to just get along. And it's like, girl, this is not the Kumbaya show. This is the Housewives show. And Phaedra is going to be Team Porsha until the wheels fall off. And that's it.
Thanks, Jay, for calling in. Yeah. Someone said that she conveniently, Shamea, last night on Watch What Happens, conveniently skipped over the manager part of Porsha's tweet. She did, and she decided to say that she was going to move on. She's not going to respond. I think because they know each other's tea, but who has more to lose? Portia's not necessarily married now, and I guess she's in a relationship, but that doesn't matter. Whatever happened during the years of their friendship is not going to affect what's happening currently. You know what I mean? So I thought that was interesting. Demi, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Demi says, Can a people pleaser even have an identity? Meaning Shamea. Well, Wave Keith, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Wave Keith says, why is that when Porsha ignores, it's growth, but when Giselle did it, she's being a mean girl? Get off the show if you don't want confrontation. Why is it when Porsha ignores, it's growth, but when Giselle did it, she's a mean girl? Because I think it's different. I don't think it was just Giselle ignoring. It was more so Giselle trying to ice. I mean, people have accused Porsha of trying to ice out Shamea as well, but it didn't feel that way because it wasn't like she really completely ignored Shamea. They were having little moments, but yeah. But it's a good question. You guys can answer it in the chat. I did just drop the calling for the general audience as well. All right, let's get to a couple of more callers, and then I'm getting out of here. All right, because I've been here almost in 10 minutes. It'll be 3 hours. 3 hours for an episode that was lackluster. You guys are having a lot of opinions, okay, which I appreciate. Okay, Teka says, Kempire, I would not respond to a lie though. Okay, all right. Exactly. Cheryl Lee says that Giselle refused to film with people. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Aisha says, nobody cares. Gerald knew exactly how he met his wife. Oh, and how was that? How was that? All right. Born to Win, what did you want to share?
Okay, I'm sorry. I just had to call back in because I felt like I missed a few things I really wanted to speak on, so I apologize. Okay, so now, Kim Michelle on Twitter or Instagram, wherever she is residing, she and Drew conveniently forgot their beef all of a sudden overnight. That is like, okay, that's the plot right there that we all are not really seeing, is how everyone is forgetting all their personal issues with one another, but everyone is still so focused only on Shamea. How come she's not invited into these little kumbaya moments that you guys are having, and you're able to conveniently just forget about your issues with one another? K. Michelle, she was going heavy on Drew about something a man said that she wanted to bring on the show intentionally so she can embarrass Drew or whatever else. All of these things here that she was going hard on Drew about that no one cared about. We still don't care. But the fact of the matter is, it's pretty much showing their hand about the plot that they have against Shamea. It's all a plot, I'm sorry, that she's been talking about. That's the real plot that, Kim Michelle been talking about. Okay. So take down Shamea. Okay, I'm done. I'm not calling back in.
Okay.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye. We appreciate all callers. Okay, but that was our second time calling in. All right, let's bring up, Nai's backstage. Hold on one second. Nai, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I just called to say, one, I know you asked why it's taking so long to like the video. A lot of times I'm watching on TV, and then I pick up my phone afterwards. So
you can like on TV too. You can like in both places. You can like on TV.
I don't usually mess around with the TV. I just watch it, but I don't comment until I grab my phone.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to work both, but I'm working on it.
Thank you.
Second, I just want to say I am Team Shamea. Okay. I do think that Porsha started it. I feel like Shamea definitely wanted to clear her mom's name at some point this season after the whole "your mom bought my mom's daycare," and Shamea said at the reunion where they weren't talking for years because your mom did something first and she just didn't say it. But now that I know we not cool, we not getting back cool, what I'm holding on to it for. So that's why I feel like she finally was at her breaking point, like whatever it is, what it is. So not that I hate Porsha, I still like Porsha somewhat, but I'm definitely Team Shamea when it comes to their little beef. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thanks so much, Nai, for calling in. I love how Nai is calling in, won't show her face. Oh, there she go. There she goes. She was hiding the entire time. When she said she was Team Shamea. I was like, but you showing me the ceiling. You showing me that we can't hear you. Nah, we can't hear you. All right, Excommunicado's backstage. Excommunicado, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Yeah, hi, Kempire.
Hey.
So I'm in agreement with Maya, and that's why I don't understand Cynthia saying that Shamia is a dog with a bone. And a lot of people in the comments, because I'm like, who is going to be comfortable with the fact that Porsha came up and said that her mom was a backstabber and all of this at the reunion last year? And then you guys just expect her to let it lie and let her forget about everything. But because it feels like Cynthia is always quick to jump on the anti-Shamia side. After Angela was caught in a lie, she was still saying she trusts Angela. So that's why I can't deal with Cynthia as the neutral personality in the group. And then I'm tired of the whole everything since the beginning of the season. Everything has been against Shamia, and that's why people are now on Shamia's side and defending Shamia a lot. And it's kind of making the show tiring. And at this point, I would say I can't wait for Salt Lake to be back. For the Angel of Lies and False Days, our double standard continues with each episode because she's talking about Pinky crying about money last week, but she was also crying after she lost her houses. She was also crying in the confessionals. Then for you, I would say, okay, I was going to ask how do you think the show would have actually fared? Would it be less divisive and more cohesive, or different dynamic entirely if Candy had been the one that returned with the reboot instead of Porsha?
How would it probably would have been boring? It probably no shade. I felt like it was time for Candy to go. I just feel like I don't know. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, Excommunicado. All right, let's bring up a Lovely Rain. Lovely Rain, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta? Lovely Rain.
Okay, everybody, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Why are we still dealing with these kitty cat games? First of all, like you said, it was something that happened in that club where they went because everybody left, but then they said it came back. And then you got Phaedra taking these people to a graveyard. First of all, you would have thought I was a spirit, especially at fast when that man said there was an exorcism up in there. When they're finna get caught on my body, I'm out of there. And then you got Kelly calling somebody a liar. Kelly, you're not a truth teller either. Every time we turn around, you saying you got this man in Atlanta, but every time we turn around, you asking for a man to come to be your boyfriend. So make it make sense. The little leprechaun is just a little liar. And then we got Porsha and Shamea. And I know people saying that Mama brought it out first. But what was the lie? A dog to carry a bone will bring a bone. What's the lie about that? That wasn't a lie. That's the truth. And then that's how she said it. That's how she said it. And with Shamea mama saying that Porsha mama was a sweetheart and she loved her. I would feel the same way. If I'm going through a hardship, knowing what happened at this daycare, and my friend about this daycare, why would I be happy with you about that? That's crazy. And we don't know what Shamea told Cynthia because of the editing. Maybe Porsha seen her talking about her mom because as soon as that episode aired, Porsha went to the blog saying this, saying that. We don't know what they said in that editing that Porsha seen. And people calling Porsha a lie. Shamea ain't clean herself. I still remember the thing she did with Eva. And they talking about she need to get a backbone. But she has a backbone when it comes to Marlo and Kenya. Did people forget about that? So they need to get their facts straight. And with Phaedra, with that wig, I don't know if a ghost caught up on her when she went to that graveyard. Because that wig looked like a drunk woman at a saloon. But that's all I got.
Thanks, Lovely Rain. Bye. I'm looking at everyone reacting to why she mentioned Kelly, so I brought up a picture of Kelly. Okay, Kelly, this is what happens when you put your legs up in a confessional. Someone's gonna screen grab it and use it against you during a recap. Okay. All right, let's get to these last couple of calls and I'm getting out of here. Arjun is backstage. Let me bring up Arjun next. Arjun, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, so I have not watched the episode, but the thing you're referring to, if you go on Pinky's Instagram, on the latest post, if you swipe to the second picture, you can see someone wearing the traitor's robe. So I'm guessing, yeah.
But it wasn't included.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, like you might be onto something when you said that they were supposed to wear it. That's all. Bye.
Oh, thanks, Arjun. Arjun didn't even need the time. Low hit, like 15 seconds. All right. Let's bring up Michelle next. Michelle Bell, what's going on?
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, one thing I do want to say is that I hope Shamea does come back next year because I want her to give Cynthia, Phaedra, and Angela hell and ignore Porsha, like just like Portia's doing her. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
I love that you guys just called in and shared your quick thoughts. I appreciate that. And you're not, vamping using the entire time. Hold on. I saw this comment. Jen says, hey, Jen. Says, hey, Kemp, I know this is random, but have you seen the film Obsession? I just watched it over the weekend. It was really good. It's on my list, but I don't know if I want to go see that by myself because it looks crazy. So I might not go see it by myself. And I don't mind a horror film. I went to go see Sinners by myself multiple times. But something about that particular one that was WPS stuff, I'm like, You could actually see it on streaming too, but I want to see it in the theater. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list. There's a few things I want to see and do, but I have so much going on right now, y'all. I just was reminded. Shout out to Sue's Beeswax, who I saw at Brooke's show and who's come to my show multiple times. She gave me some room sprays and stuff like that. And then I also got that card behind me from Cindy in California. Thank you so much for your beautiful card. I got it from the P.O. Box over the weekend. Thank you guys for all the little gifts. I appreciate. I love a good gift, a thoughtful gift. Just Gwen, thank you for the super chat. Just Gwen says behind, but she's crying face emoji. Kelly's greasy dress jabs from Kemp. Hey, Just Gwen. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Well, wait till you get to this particular point of the recap, Gwen, with her legs in the air, showing her coochie crack. Just saying. We're about to be 3 hours in, guys. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show. If you think this is fun, where we're censored in regards to what we can share on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, can you imagine what Kempire After Dark is going to be like on September 25th in person? Go get your tickets today. In-person tickets are available. There are live stream tickets available. There are meet and greet tickets available. Go get your tickets today. All right? And I will see you guys on September 25th. That'll be the end of the summer because I already know, like I said, I have so much going on this summer, so many shows I want to see, movies I want to see, all kinds of things. Elizabeth says it's on Peacock. I know it's on streaming right now, but I don't want to watch it on stream. I want to watch it outside of my house. I want to watch it outside of my house. I don't know, that WPS, things. Okay. All right. Thank you so much to our King's Guards for holding us down in the live chat. I know it's not easy dealing with thousands of people and their comments. Shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join or join our Patreon. We're going to be live on Patreon this evening. I don't know the specific time, probably like 9 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. I'm going to go for my walk first. Can I go for my 3-mile walk? All right. I might need some time, maybe 10 p.m. But we've been having a lot of fun on Patreon. So subscribe to our Patreon today, patreon.com/thekempire. A lot of really cool things are coming there, but I've already posted so many really great things. If you want to see the last Kempire After Dark live show, it's now available there on Patreon. I also have my book club that I'm launching there. I already did the review. It's not available just yet. We're working on the edit of the Brandy's book, Phases. That is coming to Patreon exclusively. So subscribe, and so much more is coming. I just keep telling you, but shout out to, we're almost at 500 members over there on Patreon. So become a member today. If you're a member here, there is a special discount for Team Kempire members and an even specialer discount for Royal Court and Senior Royals. So check out the post tab and scroll past and you'll see your discount if it's still available. If it's not available, let me know. All right. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Let me know how you'd rate this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. What stood out to you? Did you notice all the things that stood out to us in regards to what was edited out, what was not included, including an alleged fight in the trader scene? What happened? What happened? Let me see what was the final number. Let's see what the final number is. This is why Mondays fly by for me, because I'll be done with this live and it'll be 3 p.m. already. All right, let me see what was, okay, with over 2,000 votes. You guys rated this episode. Not bad, despite it not being the best episode. 54% of you rated this episode between 7 and 10. 41% of you voted this episode a 4 to 6. Not bad. And 6% of you voted a 1 to 3. Okay. We still have maybe like 2 more episodes before the season finale. Well, no, one more episode before the season finale. The season finale for Real Housewives of Atlanta will be August 2nd. August 2nd. So stay tuned. You missed our watch party last night. We'll have another one next Sunday. So become a Patreon baddie. Become a Patreon baddie. Shout out to all our Patreon baddies. We appreciate them. I'm going to end the poll. All right. Thanks to everyone that voted in. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. And shout out to our subscribers. Shout out to our subscribers. We appreciate your support as well. And if you're not a part of the community yet, join. Subscribe. Like today's video. Replay crew, I'll see you in the comments section. All right, y'all. See you all in the next one. And shout out to our sponsors, guys. Take advantage of our sponsors. All the discounts are active right now. So go check that out. Bye, y'all.
Here we go now.